sisters.
Whoa. Before another song starts.
Yes.
Sorry, I had just posted the last post before. Let's do this. What? I'm 2 minutes late and there's no Say Wong. There's Say Wong.
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting for him to be like, "You're late." Like,
He's always late. Oh, wait. That's someone else.
Wrong host.
Very true.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this started.
Distance nerding.
I'm scared.
Scary, airy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's Spooktober. It's
Yes.
spook time. It is time for the spoops. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. It is Thursday. It is time for the build. And I'm going to be continuing the build with Simba.
Ooh.
We've got an awesome guest on the show. But before we jump into all of that fun, let's talk about keeping the lights on, right? Because, ladies and gentlemen, this show is brought to you by the good folks over at the deliciousness that is Dubby. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Dubby is a brand of energy drinks created to help focus concentration reaction time with no jitters or crash. Dubby contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Now, you may be wondering to yourself, why? Why should I try Dubby? Why should I drink it?
Why, Phil?
Because
Tell
it's
us.
sludgy and disgusting and slime, and you should drink it because
I mean, it's what Jason Voorhees uses to keep up with everyone.
it really is. Ladies and gentlemen, Tubby contains Neurofactor. Neurofactor is a neurotropic derived from the coffee fruit. Neurofactor helps give your brain focus and clarity, while the 150 milligrams of caffeine and 3 essential B vitamins help you stay alert and energized. I got both of those mixed up all at the same time. 300 milligrams of caffeine would kill somebody.
Yes. I think so. Let's test it and find out.
Absolutely. Let's do it right now.
Where's Tater when we need him?
Tater. Tater. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, find out more about Dubby at www.dubby.gg. Use the code NERDING10. Get 10% off your order. It is delicious. There are so many flavors. So many that I can't even keep up anymore at this point. There's new flavors.
But the only one I care about is the pickle one.
Yeah, I'm sure you and Tater Bob would totally want fucking pickle flavored disgustingness. Like Tater's here, said, "I'm here." Bob, where the fuck are you?
Yes.
Nero, what? Nero, like as in the guy who murdered a shit ton of people in Rome?
Neurotropic.
Neurotropic. Yeah, okay, there it is. This that right there.
When you get in that bathwater,
Jeff
are
saying,
are we able to sell our bathwater now?
yes, we are
Sweet.
selling our bathwater.
All right.
Yeah, it's got all of the asshole juice in it. It's great. No, there's a new flavor that they have called Grandpa's Denture Water.
Okay.
Yeah, it's dragon fruit and mango flavored.
Oh, I'm about to say, how do you know what my grandpa's mouth tastes like? Only I know that.
She said, "No, that shit makes Debbie good. My body odor."
Mm.
That's weird. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right into this. Our guest this week is a podcaster, a sports journalist, a photographer, combat sports specifically. He is an actor, a voice actor. He does all of the things, the Nero stuff, while at the same time continuing to entertain people on a level that is way higher than either of us. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show the uber talented Mario Spider Garay.
Yeah, what's going on, gentlemen? Thank you.
Absolutely,
Hey.
Man, that almost made me feel important. So I appreciate that. Pretty cool.
That's the goal, man, is to make you guys feel more important than us,
There you go.
as you are.
Job well done. Job well done.
He's got like a legit podcast like studio, whereas like we're just in rooms.
Man, actually, my youngest moved out, so I converted her old room into my studio. Man, I used to have a studio downtown, and decided to cut it short and bring it home.
I mean, this is my office.
Yeah.
It is my podcast studio too. So all the great things happen.
I was gonna say my studio used to be inside an MMA gym downtown. That was like the first in San Antonio, man. I mean,
Broadcasting live while getting kicked in the face.
pretty much, bro. Pretty much. Happened.
So, man, let's jump into this. So we have a segment on the show called Growing Up Geeky. What did you geek out on as a kid?
Myself, man, even now, growing up, I mean, I grew up in a family of 10 with mom and dad. So we're a big family. So for me, toys, of course, Masters of the Universe, G.I. Joes. But because we were a big family, we had to budget. So my mom used to buy us all our toys like at the flea market. A lot of Mexico bootlegs,
Yes.
I'll put it that way. So that's what I grew up with.
Bro, that's my life. We had Las Pulgas out here, right? My mom would get me a lot of like Los Super Friends, but it was Superman and Batman, right? Or like,
Sweet.
yeah, or the Power Team stuff, and it's like all the power. It's like legit Power Ranger toys, but at the same time, they're just rebranded.
Made him cheaper. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, that's basically, I mean, as a kid, growing up, same thing, man. Skateboarding, toys, cereal, eating cereal every Saturday. I mean, pretty much the things I do now. So, still going.
Well, remember when we were kids, our parents said we couldn't do that the rest of our lives.
Oh yeah.
Little did they know.
And then we realized they lied to us.
Man, I tried to move back home a couple of times, man. She wouldn't let me, you know. I tried.
Was it because your mom was like, "Hey, Mario, you're 50. You can't live with us."
Yeah, pretty much. You know, she was like, "Hey, you got kids. You know, go home."
There you go. Soon you just move in with them.
It's like, but mom, I don't want to deal with them anymore. Yeah, y qué con eso?
Yeah. I'm more like they dealt with me, but I mean, they were good kids though, man. I mean, they're grown now. They're on their own, you know, doing their thing. So I did something right. I'll put it out. I'll leave it there.
Oh, I can't wait for my kids to get old enough to leave the house.
No pressure, right? No pressure.
No. I said 18, you're moving out. You're paying rent. Easy peasy.
No, yeah. You see, and for the most part, I mean, I always told them, even now, I mean, I tell them if you fail and something happens and you can't, I said, you always got somewhere to come to. You know, I told my youngest, you know, your bed's gone. I said, but you can sleep under the podcast table, you know, make room for you somewhere.
There you go.
And she's just like, "Thanks, Dad."
Oh yeah. But hey, man, it beats being out in the streets, you know. So I figure, why not?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're 100% right.
Awesome.
So you nerded out on a lot of the things we nerded out on too, man. Like all the He-Man and you know, all that kind of stuff.
I wasn't allowed to have He-Man and G.I. Joe. They were too violent.
Damn.
Yeah, that my parents were that. I think there was an excuse for not buying me shit.
That's a good excuse, though. I never thought about using that one, but it makes sense. You see, I was that dad.
You have that in the house, and then your dad turns around and starts watching, like, you know, some kind of movie where someone's head's getting ripped off.
My dad was a fucking Marine.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Not by choice either.
I was gonna say for me, it was more the kids growing up. I mean, you know, me and their mom got separated, you know, at one point, and they used to come over, and I'd be so tired from working 2 jobs, man. And I used to tell them, let's play hide and seek. So they would go hide, and I'd take a nap.
See,
I was like, they would go hide somewhere, and hey,
I can't say my dad didn't do the same thing.
at least you guys got to watch Saturday morning cartoons. It was Saturday morning yard work. Come on.
no,
Yeah, my stepdad Saturday morning was for yard work. So like we the way my dad would do it, right? Mind you, and Mario, you'll understand this. I'm Nicaragüense, right? So I'm Nicaraguan. So culturally we're different from Mexican, but like my dad for some reason really liked banda.
Yeah.
And he knew the rest of us hated it, including my mother. So he would go and turn on, like, you know, what is it? Los Tigres del Norte, or like, who's the one that's saying Los Tucanes or whatever? Like, you know, like he would just turn on the most obnoxious banda music and play it loud because he had a sound system, and be like, "Put your ass up, you're gonna go and clean the yard."
bro, that's funny because when I go to work in the mornings, I'm blasting that shit. Motivate myself to get up and get going.
James saying they need a metal banda band. James, have you not heard of Il Nino?
I was gonna say, man, I've been finding a few bands out there that I'm like, damn, they're doing crossovers, man, which I dig, you know. But I'm sure they're out there. Hell, new stuff coming up.
Well, there's a lot of like crossover, like corridos with like hip hop.
Yeah,
and like that's been a big thing. But I mean, I can't say that I've heard a metal band.
But I've been for some reason, like I've been getting a lot of those videos from Mexico. Well, I mean, because I do follow horror out there in Mexico, but I get a lot of those goth conjunto type things, man, where the goth kids are like dancing, you know, listening to Los Tucanes and everybody else, dude. So it's pretty wild, but you know.
Well, guys, Phil, what would you consider Il Nino?
I'm not familiar with Il Nino.
Oh, you need to check it out.
That's what I'm gonna have to check out.
All right. Well, going back to Mario here. So, Mario, if a movie was made about your life, who would play you and why?
Man, it would have to be. I'll go with Keanu Reeves just because that guy's so chill and he'd be the opposite of me. I think he would do great. Probably bring my life up to par, you know, just some exciting stuff. But yeah, man, I don't know. That's a good question, man. I mean, I would definitely want to get a stunt double. So anybody that's out there doing stunts, man, because my life's been bouncing off walls my whole life. So take a beating.
I did parkour of
There
life.
you
But you have to shout parkour while doing it. That's the only way.
Parkour!
go, bro.
It's not really parkour if you're not screaming at the top of your lungs. Parkour!
I do my version. I just go walking.
Yeah, yeah. Me, I'm just sitting. You know, I'm good with that.
Extreme walking.
For me, I think for the most part, I remember taking my kids to the park, man, when they were younger. But going through the jungle gyms, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I can do that, and I couldn't. You know, I was like, damn. You know, everything was smaller. Everything, you know, I wasn't as limber as I used to be. But yeah, man, I can only imagine, man. You gotta keep moving as you get older, brother. Stiffen up.
Yeah. At least DeLong knows exactly who I'm talking about with El Nino. Yes.
Yeah, Jeff knows who El Nino is.
Te amo, I hate you. Yeah, it's a fantastic song.
I thought you were talking about the MMA fighter Gilbert Melendez, bro. El Nino. Yeah, that's his name. But I've never heard of that band, though. I'm gonna have to look them up now.
They've been around a while. Most of the members just quit because one guy was being a douchebag, and they made their own band, Lions at the Gate, and I absolutely love it. They have entire albums in Spanish as well.
They pulled James Addiction, huh? Started fighting on stage or what?
Oh my God, I heard about that, and I was just
Yeah.
like, no, they didn't.
Yeah,
It's straight up fist fight in the middle of the stage.
I
He
know.
doesn't
Man.
have, he didn't have any respect for that Ink Master, and that's sad.
No, yeah, that was pretty brutal, man. I mean, I'm sure years and years of, you know, I mean, these guys probably saw each other more than they did their wives, man. So I can only imagine that relationship, you know, pretty
Right.
brutal.
That's probably like a lot of built up tension in that.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. All right, Mario. Let's talk about you a little bit. So, how did you get into acting overall?
Man, honestly, when I was in elementary school,
Mhm.
I mean, I grew up here in San Antonio. A lot of my friends that were growing up there, they had Mexican names, and by that I mean ranchero. Like they had names that the teachers couldn't pronounce.
Yeah.
Well, because they could pronounce Mario, they're like, "Hey, well, you're gonna be our lead. You're gonna be up front. We're gonna, you know," because they had a hard time pronouncing their kid. There was a kid called Timoteo. One was El Dorino. I mean, there was just like crazy names, bro. And so
Aztec names.
yeah, yeah. So that pretty much started. I mean, of course, when I was a kid, I didn't pursue anything. I mean, I was a kid. I was shy, and you know, I didn't want to do it. But I was like in front of everybody singing, right? I mean, dancing, doing whatever they tell us to do.
Mhm.
But it wasn't until I had opportunities, you know, being in commercials that I passed up. I had opportunities in high school. You know, this is like the early '90s. You know, being in music videos that I passed up, and I mean, I just a lot of it was more my self-esteem. I just didn't want to do it. I was embarrassed.
Mhm.
But you know, it took years and years, and I always tell people, man. I mean, even now, when my kids got old enough for me to start doing stuff again, because when they were younger, everything was about them. You know, I'm a dad, so it was like, you know what? I mean, as long as they're good, I'm gonna do it. You know, and so when they got older and they moved out, that's when I was just like, man, I'm gonna start doing this again. You know, and I started plugging in right before COVID here, man. And that actually, you know, I'll plug that in because it did start here in San Antonio. Lackland Air Force Base is right behind me, and that's where, you know, the lady that turned out she was positive was
Mhm.
they were staying at. But just like daylight, man, or nighttime, it just that one day, it just like everything closed. The next week, everything was gone, bro. Like it was just, I mean, not gone, but it was just like it was insane, you know. But I had auditioned to two local. One was in Austin, one was here in San Antonio, and it was just like indie films. I went out there, and it was fun, you know. But I was kind of embarrassed, but I was like, man, I'm gonna do it. Well, when COVID hit, I didn't do anything after that. I was like, damn, you know. And it wasn't until like after COVID that I started plugging in this podcast. I had the Combat Sports, the Fight Car Podcast, which is the logo back here.
Mhm.
And I didn't do anything during COVID because I was busy. I mean, my work picked up, and I was literally like working 7 days a week, you know, nonstop. But you know, I started doing it again, man. I figured, why not? You know, I've got a platform. I said I'm interviewing directors, writers, you know, actors. So I started throwing my name in the box, I guess, and you know, some people started calling, and opportunities started popping up. And even now, you know, I'm getting a lot of local invites, so I'm taking it. You know, one in Waco, and I'll plug them in, man. There's a indie film out there that's going to be released next year called Killer Cox.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a comedy horror, and it sounds as funny as it's the name, but a lot of great people making it happen, dude. And I'm going back in November to finish that up.
That sounds like a porn movie, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like we had the same path too with the indie stuff. Is I started talking to people just like this, and now I'm part of a movie team that's spread across the country, and we're just doing shit nonstop. It's really a blast.
You see, and for the most part, I mean, it's fun. It is fun, you
Mhm.
know. I mean, I wish, you know, in high school, my sophomore year, I took photography. The first week, you know, they're talking about everything, and they're like, "Hey, Monday, everybody bring their cameras." And I'm looking at everybody like, "What camera?" So I asked the teacher, and he's like, "No, you got to bring your own camera." We didn't have money, bro. Like I wasn't gonna ask my mom, you know, and my dad. So I got out of it, and so that was a bummer. I wanted to take theater, but because I needed credits for my English and some other class, like they were like, "No, you got to take these classes." So that didn't happen. There was a lot of stuff that was, you know, closed for me, and it sucked. You know, there's a lot of stuff I wanted to do in high school, but yeah, man. Other than that, it's just, you know, I'm just taking it for what it is, man.
Yeah, for me, I took 4 years of theater and drama because that counted as my art classes. I'm like, I can't draw worth of crap, but get me do, you know, learn, you know, stunt fighting, stunt choreography, improv, all that stuff.
That's the fun stuff.
It is.
No, you see, and let me ask you, because of course, I mean, this was in high school when you took the theater.
Yeah.
Dude, that was cool, man. How did you manage to do it all 4 years though? Because of the art?
Yeah. You had to have like 3 years of art. So I did that, and then I also did speech and debate, which counted as my second speech class I had to do as well.
Nice.
So yeah, I was doing it I was learning it in school, and that's also part of the theater production team and crew that was separate from that too. So,
man, you see,
go take speech and debate because I get to go argue with people all day.
Exactly.
Man, you see, man, and let me say this, because I took art one semester, and the second semester I had to get out because I had to take geography, or I needed half a credit. I mean, my high school years were all over the place, man. Like I could have graduated early. It turned out I had so many credits, but I decided to drag it out and just, you know, senior years, go to school a half a day.
Yeah.
But man, yeah. But I mean, art. I took it the first year, and I realized one thing. I was a kid that always drew colored outside the lines, bro. I wasn't, you know.
I don't see lines. So I mean, with what you're doing now, obviously you said you're getting back into it, and I've noticed, and Phil can attest to, I'm sure you've seen it too, that COVID really kickstarted the indie film world, where people were all stuck at home and writing stuff.
Yeah,
and now it's just blowing up because of all this project work that people had for a year and a half, 2 years.
No, it did, man. Because one of the things, and it's kind of funny, but I mean, the way it happened here in Texas, it's like things were going that bad that a lot of businesses did close, and like literally from one week to the next, like the state was just like, "Screw this, man, we're gonna open up," and we did. Like everything, just come Monday, everybody was open, and it was like walking on eggshells because people were like, "Damn, okay, are we good? You know, are we gonna?" And but yeah, man, it's just we just got tired of waiting, man. And I don't, you know, it was either COVID was gonna get to us, or the economy, man. One of us was gonna kill us. You know, it was that bad. And you know, we opened up. A lot of businesses closed down. I was a contract delivery driver like all through COVID, and you know, I mean, I was everywhere, bro. So I was picking up, like, people were giving away furniture. I mean, you name it, man. I was picking everything up, bro. That was my thing.
Right. Now, with you know, doing the acting now and doing the podcasts, have you thought about writing your own scripts and screenplays and starting to make those waves?
I've actually been writing since July, like right before my birthday. I was like, man, because I used to write a lot in high school. I took writing as one of my courses, and I was always about writing about something. There was a time where I would write what turned out to be poems. I mean, it just, I don't know, they were just like essays. Best way I can describe it. But a lot of one of my friends in high school, like they had a punk rock band, and they were like, "Hey man, are these songs?" And I said, "Nah, just stuff I'm writing." And he's like, "Can I borrow it?" And I'm like, "Sure." So he took my whole portfolio thing I had going, or notebook, and like he wrote songs, bro. He was just like, dude, like we turned that into a song, and I'm like, okay, cool, and that's when I realized there was something there, and I just kept, I had stopped writing for years. But it just wasn't until like this year that I was like, you know what, my thing is mashups, so I want to do like two movies in one and just kind of do like fan film type things.
Mhm.
But I've been picking at it, man. It's just right now the biggest thing is scheduling, bro. Like, people that they want to do it, and it's just like, I get off work like at 1:30, 3 o'clock. I want to do it like right after work, and everybody's like, oh, let's do it like at 8 or 7, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to sleep. Going to sleep. But it will happen though, man. But yeah, I've been writing quite a bit.
Well, because you also did some work in journalism as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I in the '90s, I used to contribute towards like local magazines.
Mhm.
SA Sports Magazine was one that was running. I was a photographer on there as well. I used to contribute towards local newsletters. Just stuff that went out there in paper format. Everything died, of course, after digital went up. But as that on top of my zine, I had a punk rock zine back in the '90s that I used to run. Dude, like writing letters to bands, bro. Like it was before social media, so it was like waiting 3 weeks to a month of people, these guys to respond. And but it was some good times though, man. I had 4 issues that I actually printed. Started doing that again. We're actually dropping our premiere issue this month, so that's pretty
Ooh.
cool.
Just in time for No Effects to quit.
Yeah, yeah. They actually, I think their last gig wasn't it this past week?
Yep.
You see, and let me say this, man, because in Austin, bro, I used to actually hang out there quite a bit in the early '90s, and we got to work like bounce for no effects. We got to a lot of bands that used to go through the back room. There was they did a documentary on that a while back, and
Mhm.
a lot of great times, dude. Crazy times, bro. It's just I tell people, the stuff that I've been through, like I wouldn't want my kids to go through, man. It was hell. It was crazy, but it was something that we all survived before social media, which is good because we're not memes. We're not out there. But
Well, I'm sure a lot of that shit was fun though, man.
oh yeah, bro. For the most part, for what I can remember, yes. Everything else, people would tell me, "Hey, you did this," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." Yeah.
Well, let's talk about zine a little bit. You talk about writing the bands. Did you get responses from any big names? Are you like, holy crap, I can't believe they wrote back?
Like back when?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Well, at that time, the business, and they came through here, San Antonio, before Mickey passed away. But I interviewed them. I interviewed the Oppressed out there in England. I interviewed a band in Germany at that time. I was getting a lot of response, man. What's that?
You went to England and interviewed them?
No. Fan mail. Like I would write letters and send questions, and they'd send them back, man.
I was just about to be like, what the fuck?
I wish that would have happened. But I will say this though, that zine, I got in touch with this one record label in New Mexico, and I wrote the guy, and I'm like, hey, this is my zine. I said, I'm here in San Antonio. The guy calls me, hey, this is John, Vulture Rock. How's the scene out there? And I said, man, it's pretty good, man. We got shows like every week, and he was like, you know what? Can I send you a box of vinyl? Can you sell it? I'll send you an invoice. And I'm like, yeah, sure. So he sent me this box, right? Invoice was like $400 and something. Everything was at wholesale, man. Records were like $5.50 a piece. And I'm like, dude, we're paying like $20 for these, this crap out here, man. So I get the box and I'm going through it and I'm thinking, damn, okay, you know what? So I start telling my friends, man. And then before social media, so people that I'm friends with, I'm like, dude, I was selling records for $10, right? So I made a profit, and I sent the guy the invoice back like a week later, bro. Like I went to one show and boom, I was done. I sent him his paycheck, calls me back like, dude, that you got rid of it, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, let me send you some more stuff. So we had a deal where he actually paid for advertisement on my zine that was like cut and paste at Kinko's here locally, and from him I got in touch with Headache Records that was in New Jersey. I got in touch with Bronco Bullfrog that was out there in Germany. I got in touch with Helen the Boy in England. There was like 5 record labels that was sending me stuff, bro. Like boxes of T-shirts, you name it. And I'm here selling that out of my trunk, bro. Going to shows in Austin, Houston, Corpus. And, it was wild. But, I always tell people I was young and dumb. I could have done a lot with that, and I was just having fun.
Yeah.
But, it's just it was exciting, man. And because of that, my zine was actually sold through these companies out there in Germany and England. And all over the world, man.
Oh, that's
Wow.
insane, man.
Yeah, that's one nobody can take from me, man, because I was
Yeah.
making that happen. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Well, I got to ask then, best punk band.
The oppressed out of England, I would say, not necessarily punk rock. I mean, it's more on the oi side.
Mhm.
But I'm when it comes to punk rock, man, I'm real big with I like to call it ghost rock, man, or like the Misfits, like Phantom Rock. I don't know what the kids call it nowadays, but it's just like my whole life. I will say this: my whole life growing up watching horror, I grew up watching reruns of Albert and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where you're laughing, it's monster, but you're cracking up, and that describes my sense of humor, man. Like I laugh at everything I have to, but I mean, when it comes to horror, it's got to be fun, man.
Yeah, my all-time favorite punk band, Bad Religion.
Yeah.
Down.
No, yeah. You see, I've seen them twice, bro, and I mean, live, dude, they kill it. Freaking
I've
great live.
yeah, 14 times for me.
Damn. Okay. You see, let me say this. They've been through here plenty of times, just like Suicidal Tendencies has been through
Mhm.
through here for years. DRI came through here for years, man, and I will catch them like at the smaller venues. I'm not a big concert guy, man. Like I feel like I would lose interest. I'd rather it be like I mean, of course, they're bigger bands now, so they need the bigger crowds. But I mean, Green Day, we saw them here at a club in '89 called the Showcase, and we paid like $8 to go see them. And it was just
Yeah. I wish concerts were still like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
But I got to see bands like that. I saw Sam Hain right before they split up, I believe in '87. Man, I was a skater kid, dude, and this was like
Yeah.
this club called the Bone Club by downtown. It was like filled with nothing but Nazi skinheads and shit. It was scary as shit, man. I was some 15-year-old kid, man. But wow.
It was always funny to me that like skinheads listen to punk rock.
Yeah.
Right. When it's like, punk rock is like anarchist music, and it's like, oh, you guys are fucking authoritarian shitheads.
Yeah.
And
It's because of the 15 different splits that we had in the 80s, where we had the first wave of punk, and second wave came about, and then really split up from like 84 to 89 is where we got all this other stuff. That's where we got straight edges, where we got the skater punks, where we got the skinheads and the Mohawks. Was all from that era of punk.
Yeah. No, yeah, man. You see, and I will say this, man. Like I used to run around in '89. I was a what they would call an anti-racist skinhead, man. I grew up here in San Antonio, man, and we used to battle it out with Nazis, bro, downtown. And I mean, that's one of the things, we ran them out of town, bro. I mean, they're here, they're probably politicians or cops, who knows?
especially now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the climate that's in Texas.
Oh, yeah, they're out. They'll probably see this. I'll probably get pulled over tomorrow, but I'm good. But yeah, man. But it just it was one of those things. I mean, everybody always associated like skinheads with Nazis, and there's a whole, you go back to the '60s, '70s. I mean, there's a history behind it, and it's like I won't go that far, but yeah, man. It's just, I mean, we're out there in California too. I mean, I met a lot of bands from California. Like Over Wonderland was one of them that was out there. I mean, killing it, dude. And they were all like, Hispanic, Mexican. I mean, they were, they weren't Nazis. So,
Well, some of us can't help being skinheads because they have no hair. I'm just saying.
You were forced into it.
I was very forced into it. Yes.
He didn't choose the skin life. Skin life chose him.
Man.
So let's kind of pivot into your show, coming soon podcast and horror. It's something that I feel like I like the question you put in here. It's something I asked too. What's the first horror movie you can recall watching?
Right. In the big screen, it was Shud. And I took the bus. I was 9 years old, man. Me and my best friend took the bus from used to run behind our house. We took it downtown, and I remember that day like yesterday, man. But my dad's like, okay, you're gonna get off the bus right here. When you get out of the theater, you're gonna cross the street and you're gonna catch the bus right across the theater and come home. And we're like, okay, yeah, it should be easy, And but he was like, whatever y'all do, don't go to the Riverwalk, And the Riverwalk was right next to the Aztec Theater, which they turned into like a music venue. And as kids, man, we're like looking over, like, why did he tell us not to go down there? What's down there? Freaking scared. But yeah, man. But it was Shud. After that, it was like, dude, like going to the theater by myself or with my friends was like, it just became a thing. And we used to ride our bikes everywhere. So of course, it took us a little bit longer, but we made it.
Now that was your big screen. What about at home? Do you recall like your earliest memory of horror?
Man, once again, because I did grow up watching a lot of black and white. I mean, my biggest thing, and I'm still a big fan of it, is El Santo contra las momias. The lucha libre wrestlers. Fighting the monsters, the vampires. There's a thing, and I mean, not that we're related, but there's a movie with Blue Denim. There's a lady actress. She was a dancer, singer from Central America, but she was actually, her last name was Garay, and I always thought that was cool because I was like, man, like, Blue Denim, his son's here in Texas, and I'm like, dude, I want to meet that guy and just kind of be like, hey, you know what, that could have been my aunt, I don't know, it's like, or great aunt, or who knows, but I always thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I've always watched horror movies at home, like black and white, Alfred Hitchcock, Twilight Zone in black and white. I mean,
yes.
I think I mentioned that earlier. If I didn't, we grew up with no cable early years, so it was all reruns, and I'm grateful because I would have missed all that stuff, man.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, if she's Guatemalteca, she could be related to you, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I'll take it because I've actually dug deep and tried to see if there's any relation, man, and I could never find anything, but I'm still picking at it. We'll see.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to talk to a gentleman last night on my other show. He's like, yeah, he was born in '56. Like, yeah, I just went to England when I was 17 to meet all the Hammer horror people. So I became friends with Vincent Price, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing. He just went there and talked to them. And it was the '60s or early '70s. I'm like, I wish he could do that now.
Man, imagine that, bro.
Pushing pre-Star Wars, man.
Yeah.
No kidding, man. He could have been probably one of the stormtroopers. Who knows?
But I just like, and he literally wrote a book of meeting the Universal horror monsters.
Nice, bro. Dude, that's awesome, man. I mean, I wish, moments like that, like I'll say, I mean, just like you guys, man, I go to these conventions, and I'm able to talk to these guests. And dude, I mean, you kind of forget that they're people till you talk to them, and you're like, damn, this guy wakes up just like me, and it's once you talk to them and they open up, it's just like your best friend, bro. We're just talking about like memories and movies, and it's like, all right, cool, man.
Just realize how normal people are,
Well, I think what really sets a lot of people like us apart from other shows and podcasts is we don't go there and just go scream, oh my God, it's Heather Langenkamp, and just only talk like Nightmare on Elm Street, right? You talk to them about them.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And they appreciate that.
Yeah, no, yeah. You see, because one of the things, and I've always asked like the guests when I'm out there, and before we start, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ask a few questions, and I said, by the way, I said, how you doing? And they kind of like, oh, well, yeah, I'm doing pretty good, And it's just because nobody, even in life, bro, like nobody, being a man in general, like people don't ask that, we don't ask each other like, hey, how you doing today, bro? Or,
right.
But it's something that you should hear at least once a week, at least, once a day would be nice, but it's just. I always hit them with that, and once they hear that, they kind of open up and like, okay, like, let's go.
Yeah, and I really like talking to people, especially what we do here as well. It's just like people are new to doing interviews and podcasts, and you see that moment where they just relax, and just realize it's just a conversation.
Right.
Oh yeah,
conversation in the void.
Exactly.
Yeah. You see, and that's I get a lot of first timers, man, when it comes to interviews, and they're like, man, like, what do I do? What do I say? And I said, bro, we're just going to have a conversation, man. Like, imagine just being on the phone and like, hey, how's it going? What are you up to? Just, and like, once I'll say this, man, because when I started doing delivering furniture, right, I'm a contractor. I mean, I started working, I realized that once I make my customers laugh, like I would say something funny and they'd laugh, like, dude, I had them, like I could ask them for like $100, they'd probably give it to me. I mean, they wouldn't, but but it was just like one of those things where I kind of learned, like, you know what, man, once you make people laugh, bro, like they get comfortable with you. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, you know what, and that's one of the things, like when I'm out there talking to these guests, like before I interview them, like I'll talk to them and I'm like, hey, how's it going? I talk to the promoter. He allows me to get interviews. I just gotta ask you guys first, and I always throw something funny out, and once they start laughing, I know I can come back and just, they'll be relaxed and ready to go with that, man.
Right.
Yeah, I had a person that's like, the one movie they made was called Torpedo Up the Ass, and like when I introduced them, like, and like, you picked that movie of all my my IMDb to say. I'm like, absolutely.
Dude. You see, but that's
Not bring it up. You made a movie called Torpedo Up the Ass.
Right.
yeah. I mean, you don't want to talk about it. You shouldn't have jumped in there, you know. But you know what? Let me say this because I've talked to guests before, and like after going through their IMDb, and I'm like, oh damn, they were in this or they helped with this, and I asked him, and I'm like, hey, so how did this come about? You know, you were in this movie, and they're like, I was, and I'm like, well, yeah, I was in your IMDb, and they're like, man, half that stuff I wasn't even in. They just threw my name in it, you know, and I'm like, damn. I said, okay, so that's that, you know.
Yeah. So how did you come up with the Coming Soon podcast? How long have you been doing it all together?
This month is actually going to be 2 years.
Nice.
Yeah. When the name came out, me and my buddy Braxton Smith, man, he's actually a pro fighter. He's actually fighting for a bare knuckle fighting championship next month or in December. I'm sorry.
Oh wow.
But he's a UFC veteran. Like I interviewed him. I had that studio at that gym I was telling you about. I was inside a combat sports gym. And I interviewed him one day, and I had some horror posters up on the wall, and he was like, "Dude, you're a horror fan?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "You know, I watch movies, you know." And he was like, "Hey, man, do you know any horror podcasts that I can listen to?" And I said, "Man, honestly, I don't think so." And we kind of opened that box, you know, and we were talking like he was here in San Antonio for a few months, and we would talk, and he was just like, "Hey, man, like, you want to start a horror podcast?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I already got the fight, you know, I already got the equipment, I got everything." I'm like, "Dude, let's go," you know. And we started a page, and he was like, "Well, what do we name it?" And I said, "You know what, man, I'm just gonna put coming soon on the photo, and we'll come back to it, you know." And the more I kept seeing that, I was just like, "Coming soon." And I said, "You know what?" And I've always liked that because, like, with my posters, a lot of them are video store posters, and the bottom always have coming soon to VHS or coming soon to. And I say, you know what, man, I like the Coming Soon podcast, and I looked it up on the domain that was available. I bought it, and boom, that was it, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think, Phil, I think all of our co-hosts should have a fight and see who wins. James, Salem, and your
I was gonna say who's fighting who, because remember I used to do MMA, so I mean, like,
no, I'm saying our co-hosts.
our
So James will do it, Salem will do it, and Mario's boy will do it.
I could do some pillow fighting, you know.
I'm
Take it easy, man.
I'm not to hate on James, but I'm pretty sure Salem would mop the floor with him. Salem's a big guy, man.
He is.
Man,
yeah.
Just tell him to work on his footwork, man.
Most people don't realize what my co-host looks like because no one really sees him in person. So he likes it that way.
So here's the question, right? Co-host versus co-host, right? It's going to be Salem versus James. Who's training them?
Ooh, that's nice. That's a good one.
I think Mario's co-host.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Get him ready
out here, man.
They're about the same age, right? Probably. James is older than me.
James is late 40s, so yeah.
Yeah, so Salem. So there you
go. Nice, dude. We'll have a senior division, you know. That's what they do in jiu-jitsu, right? So and I'm up there with them too, so I'm not knocking on them. I'll be right at that freaking bracket too, man.
So, you know, with the Coming Soon podcast, obviously wasn't your first one, but were there any hiccups when starting a podcast that you have found to be just like, I kind of wish I knew that beforehand?
I wish I knew about StreamYard before I started all of it, dude. I'll put that in because I was using OBS, and man, it was like flying in there, like bringing in an airplane, dude. Like there were so many gadgets and so many buttons, and the mixer I had was a buddy of mine in Lockhart, man. This guy Emilio, man, he's actually he used to compete back in the day also, and he was like, man, come down, you know, come to Lockhart. I'll give you my old one, and I'll plug it in. And I drove out there, man. I said, you know what, screw it. I just went out there one morning. He plugged everything in for me. He's like, yeah, if you have questions, you know, hit me up. So that same day, I go to my studio. I'm plugging everything in, and I'm like, I say, hey, bro, I got questions, man. I said, you know, and it took me a while, man. It was, I'm not tech savvy. You know, I always tell people, you know, my VCR is still blinking 12 o'clock. You know, I can't even get the time on that bad boy. But yeah, it was difficult, man. And I knew a lot of people that were actually like on Twitch, like like he had mentioned he was in, and then they were doing that, and I was like, dude, I was offering people, I was like, man, can you come over here? I'll pay you $100, bro. Just show me what I'm doing wrong. Like I know one button's off or one plug is off. Everybody was like, yes, I'll help you. Nobody helped. Nobody. Everybody ghosted me, bro. And I was paying, mind you, and but yeah, that was the hardest thing, was just trying to figure that out, man. It was those are the speed bumps.
Yeah, I can tell you. So one of the horror dads, he started Twitch streaming like last week. He's calling. He's like 3.5 hours away. He's like, my monitor is not working. Like, did you plug it in? No, but that might help.
Right? The power. Okay, press that button.
Working IT again, all over again, dude.
It's what I do. I just don't want to do it. But
you see, but yeah, man. But that was the most difficult part, bro. I mean, once I got over that, once I actually found StreamYard, I was just like, dude. And I will say this: my buddy out there in Houston, man, he's actually a coach for an MMA gym. They got Daniel Pineda. They got a couple of fighters out there in the UFC. He plugged me into it because I saw his layout, and I'm like, one day I was just like, I messaged him and I said, hey, man, I said, I don't want to, I'm not doing what you're doing. I said, but what are you using, bro? And he showed me the way, man. And I, Frank the Tank, bro, Coach Frank. But that was it. After that, I was like, dude, I got this. Let's go.
Yeah, this is the way.
Yeah. I'm lucky enough to use StreamYard, Riverside, OBS, a couple other things just for everything I do, but OBS is easily the most difficult.
Yes, bro.
Hands
And it's
down.
just, I mean, for me, it's got to be patience, man. Like I can't do what Homeboy is doing with Legos, man. I'd be melting him and making them into a ball or something. I just can't. I can't do that. I can't do puzzles. I can't do. It's just I don't have the patience for that. But
I'm building Lego and conducting an interview at the same time.
Yes, bro. I mean, I'm trying to sit still and do an interview. That's how bad I am. I'm trying not to fall off.
The only reason that this helps is because I have ADHD, so it helps me like focus while I'm doing everything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
I just have a little voice in my side chat that tells me the time, because if I don't adhere to my time with my show, I will go over each and every time.
Man. But yeah, bro. But that's about it, man. I mean, outside of that, I mean, I already had the Fight Card podcast. Before that, we had TexasFighting.com. I was telling your buddy, man. I mean, I got hacked last year from my personal page, my personal profile. So I lost access to my pages, which were like in the 5,000, 8,000, and it was all organic, bro. That's what pissed me off. I didn't buy nothing. Everything was from years of networking, and it was gone, bro. So it hurt.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. It absolutely sucks. Yeah, I've seen people do that. So, but what if you really learned about yourself with doing your podcast? Did it make you help realize that you wanted to be in front of the camera and go back to being an actor?
Well, in the beginning, I had audio only, and I wanted to keep it that way because I kind of wanted to do the whole radio type feel, like where people can just listen to it.
Right.
It wasn't until like months later that people were like, man, well, who are you talking to? I mean, I would put their name and info, but they wanted to see my guest. So I said, well, you know what? I'll start doing video. Back to my buddy Emilio out there in Lockhart, that's when I plugged him in, and he's like, yeah, so I started doing video. When I started interviewing people, I still had the camera on them, and people were like, man, why aren't you? It looks funny. Like, you're not in the video. And I'm like, well, it's not about me. It's about my guests, and so when I started doing the double video or, me in it, I was kind of like, okay, you know what? Like, I really don't want to be on here, but it's just, it makes more sense. And the fact that I wanted to do film, kind of made sense because I was like, well, hell, I'm going to need people to know who I am, what I'm doing. And so I just decided to go ahead and do that, stick with it.
Right. Yeah. Phil knows my story is that, when I was towards my last part of, I started doing skits and stuff like YouTube when it started 2007, 2008. And I realized at that point in time, I wanted to be behind the camera. I wanted to write, I wanted to direct and do all that stuff. But doing shows like this, Sturdy, and a couple other that I've done, it's like, you know what? I am comfortable in front of a camera. Yeah. So let me continue that path and do both.
Nice.
Yeah, like, I'm comfortable in front of the camera. Like I enjoy being in front of the camera, and I ham up everything that I do. It's like it's when I'm live on stage, I'm hamming it up. When I'm on the show. It's like I'm just such a ham, but like, I've always been somebody who enjoys performing. So it's kind of like, you know, it was just this is just me stemming into that, you know.
Well, let me say this, man. Back in 2005, I was actually teaching inside a mall here in San Antonio. I was the first guy to teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the morning. Like everybody was doing nights, I was the only morning guy. I had 38 students my morning classes. Um, I was in a commercial that the gym owner, like, he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna have a commercial. I want you in it. I want you all to do like jiu-jitsu, MMA." So I'm like, "Okay." So we had to choreograph. So I was in a commercial that year. I did the Good Morning SA for another gym that I was helping out for self-defense. So I was on TV for that. I was at the post office at the time, so they interviewed me while we were picking up the tax form. It was the last day of tax day, right? Everybody's like, streets congested. We're in the street like idiots picking up tax forms, and I got interviewed for that. I was like on TV like 6 times that year, bro. And everybody was like, "Dude, like you look familiar. You look familiar." And like I used to run into, because I was involved with MMA, and I knew every gym, I knew every fighter, I knew everybody. Literally, I still do. And it's just, I would go places, and people were like, "Man, you know that guy? Oh yeah, that's a fighter from this gym." And I go somewhere else, and people are like, "Man, who are you, bro?" Like, and I'm like, "Well, hell, it's like I just happen to know a lot of people, man."
Yeah. Well, I mean, so with your guest host being Richard John Wallers and Kevin, did you know them before you started doing the Common Scene podcast?
No. Actually, I met both gentlemen through them coming here for events. For the promoters, they brought them in. I talked to them. I mean, both guys. I mean, we're pretty down to earth, man. I mean, I don't think it was the first time for them to jump on shows or promote events, but I kind of just plugged them in and like, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm all about networking. Like, I just want to promote. I mean, you guys jump in. This is what I can do for you guys. I can just promote you on the side, like." That way, it'll help out, because everything does help, and so I started doing that. Kevin was supposed to be here last weekend. He had a hiccup on scheduling, so he should be here at the end of this month. So I'm looking forward to that, man. I mean, it'd be cool to have him out here and hang out with the guy, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all agree that networking is crucial to do what we do.
Yeah.
100%.
And let me ask y'all this, because of course, when y'all go to events, like I always tell people, it's like almost as if I forget, because if I have interviews, like I'll get those done, and the rest of the time I'm there like networking, but I'm not networking myself. I just kind of feel like I'd be harassing people, man. Like I just kind of like, people already know me, but it's like hard for me to like, "Hey, by the way, can you follow me?" Or, "Hey," so I don't plug it in like that. But I realized like a couple months back that I need to start doing that, man. So next year I've got a couple of things, because I am a moderator. I actually do the Q&A panels for the 3 promotions here in San Antonio. I'm a commentator for a Tapper Scrap promotion out there in Victoria, which I'll be at next month. I mean, for the Tapper Scrap number 10. So I'm comfortable with talking to people. It's just when it comes to promoting myself, that's where I have a hard time.
Yeah, you don't tend to put yourself over.
No. I'm just like, I'm nobody. I'm just sitting here, But yeah, man, it's just kind of weird, But it's like one of those things. I'm like, okay, I'm working on things for next year that I'm gonna have other people doing it for me, because I don't want to be that guy, man. It's just
right.
Yeah, I mean, we're the same. We're also moderators for a lot of Comic Cons and stuff like that. We tend to like, I tend to forget to tell people to like follow us and stuff like that. That's what I have James and Tater for,
Right. Yeah, you're lucky. At least you have other people to help you out with that stuff.
No, you
Like
see, that's hard.
My co-host will not go in front of anyone. He will not talk to anyone. He will not do any of that shit.
He's like, "You need me? I'll be back here sitting down." They're like, "All right."
Yeah, pretty much. I've done like 3 different horror movie marathons in Chicago here.
Damn.
And so getting to talk to all those people, I saw a picture you had of John Dugan getting signed, and just I got to talk to him. Last year was Brink Stevens. This year was Lisa Zane. And it's what we're doing. And I agree. It's hard to do. I'm with the Horror Edge production team and my podcast. I'm going to have a table at Days of the Dead this year.
Dude, that's awesome, bro.
So I'm just going, this is going to be weird for me. Is I like to be on the other side of the tables, going around and talking to people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you see, because I've had that option here, man. Especially, I mean, there's events that happen inside the malls. There's like 3 malls here that have events. Like, seems like every weekend, man. Because they're here
Mhm.
quite a bit, but they always offer me a table, and it's just my thing is like I don't want to be sitting there like all day, and not that I have to, but it's just like I don't want to get up and have to like worry about my stuff getting taken. It's just weird, bro. Like I don't have that second person here locally to help me, and it's just hard. So I just kind of figured, you know what, I'll just have my media phone, which is my second phone, and that's it, man. Get to work.
The cool thing about when you do like cons and events and promotions and whatnot, a lot of times, as long as you get friendly with the person who's next to you, a lot of times they'll watch it for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, and I've seen that, and that's the thing too, because I mean I know a lot of the vendors I befriended. I'm cool with everybody, but it's just I don't know. I just feel comfortable. It kind of feel like if I'm leaving my phone behind, like I don't want to do that. My laptop's there. I can pack it up.
Right.
It's just
Oh, no,
be
my,
about
laptop
it.
my laptop goes everywhere with me. That guy.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say I can just pack that up and take it, but it's just I don't know. It just it'll get better next year. Like I said, I mean there's a couple of things I'm working on to advertise myself a little bit more, promote myself a little bit more, and a lot of great stuff, man. I mean I'm not gonna drop it yet, but it's gonna be exciting, man. I'm ready for it.
That's awesome. I can't wait. And Phil knows my bald ass head wears a distance nerd hat everywhere I go.
He has managed to go and film movies and wear that hat. And
Yep.
Yeah, I've actually had my vehicle in 2 movies. I always joke around, but I'm like my car's got more IMDb credit than I do, man. I'm like, damn. But yeah, dude. I mean, doing those podcast, skits. I mean, I always wear my hat. I always promote myself, which we do. But yeah, but next year, man, I'm looking at actually getting more lines. I'm actually looking to get more involved and be more of an actor rather than just on cameos and just which I would still love to do. I mean, I'm not gonna stop doing that, but it's like I want to promote myself a little bit more, man. Put myself out there.
That's awesome. I said I can't wait. Like I said, Phil knows I have a big 2025 planned out for
Nice.
myself. So
yeah. And I'm excited for you, man, because a lot of that stuff is just fuck, man. Like everything just kind of escalated. Like,
very fast, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a good part, right? I mean, because I had a lot of doors open for me, and that's kind of the same thing. I mean, we're probably gonna be neck and neck doing stuff because I had opportunities come up, and everybody's like, yeah, man, like you can do this, you can, help with this, and I'm like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
dude, like it's surreal, but I'm ready, man. Like I'm, like I said, I mean, what I do now, I always tell people it's like my retirement job. I just work, this place, but everything else is working on me, working on myself, man.
Yeah.
Well, Mario, I have a pitch for you. Ready right now?
Let's do it.
I'm pitching a TV show where I'm going to go state to state and investigate things. Do you want to be my Texas person?
Dude, let's go, bro.
All right.
Let's go.
So fun thing on this, and this works right up his alley. One of the other things that Mario's into is like conspiracy theories and shit. Like not but not like like weirdo conspiracy theories, more like kind of conspiracy theories you're into, where it's like cryptids and monsters and shit like that.
I thought you said no, not weirdos, man. Come on.
So Mario, what I'm doing is I'm going to do 5 to 8 episodes per state and go into local legends and lore and investigate it. Yet lots of people do it, but we're going to come from a scientific point of view for it, and we want to have a special guest host at least 1 episode per state.
Man, yeah, bro. Because I mean, I don't know if you guys have picked. I mean, just in San Antonio alone, man. I'm actually in a short film. Well, I actually helped out with the short film that's coming out next month. But it's the Legend of the Donkey Lady.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that on your.
Yeah, so that's one. Like here in the south side of San Antonio, Donkey Lady Bridge is out there. We got the Ghost Tracks. We've got Midget Mansion. What's left of it up north. I mean, there's so much stuff here, man, that we grew up, getting scared of. But let's go, man.
Well, I also see you're in OnlyFans, which I follow. So I guarantee on Facebook, we're easily in the same circles.
Yeah. No, yeah. You see, and with them, I mean, bro, like Murder Size, man. Like I wanted to jump on that so bad. I had other stuff lined up, and I regret not doing it because that movie gold, bro. Like I'm so So when they started this one, I said, okay, I got to jump on this one, man. Like I want to do something with this. I mean, there's films that I'm jumping on, or films that I'm enjoying, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, I mean, of course, if somebody was like, hey, I got a lead, can you do it? I'm not gonna worry. I mean, I'm gonna worry about the film, but I want to have fun with them. So a lot of these films are like perks, like voice perks. I mean, but yeah, man. I mean, that's kind of OnlyFans, bro. That's freaking genius,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. So how far away are you from New Orleans?
New Orleans, we've driven out there 5.5 hours, 6 hours,
5.5
depending on
hours.
traffic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're planning a movie in there, maybe next year or the year after.
Okay.
So I'll have to
yeah.
let you know.
Yeah, man, keep me posted, man, and we'll definitely, talk outside of this too, because there's opportunities. I mean, I've actually picked up a few uh, investors. I want to say sponsors.
Mhm.
I've got some sponsors, but I got some investors that are going to help out for next year, which is even more exciting. So I'm like, okay, like that's kind of what's going to catapult what I'm doing on top of everything else, and I'm gonna take it, man. Like it's gonna be a lot of great stuff, bro. Like I mean, we'll definitely talk outside of this. Once
Yes.
everything's like signed and ready to go, I don't want to like shoot my foot and be like, okay, it didn't happen. But I'm
Oh yeah.
looking for it, man. I mean, I'm definitely.
Oh yeah. I know. So we'll talk more offline. We'll connect and talk all these fun things. But Phil has some of the hardest questions for you of all time.
Absolutely. So these wrap up questions here before we jump into the bracket. So, like he just said, I'm going to ask you the hardest questions you've ever been asked in your life.
Let's do it.
Especially as a Latino.
Let's do it.
What is your favorite kind of taco?
Bean and cheese, bro.
Bean and cheese.
100%, bro.
Wow. I don't think anyone's ever said that on this
I don't
show.
think anybody has ever said a bean and cheese taco.
No, but that's me. That's my go-to, bro. I don't care what else is on there. If there's bean and cheese, I'm game.
So for those of you out there that are going bean and cheese, that is a hardcore Mexican staple right there. You just slather some some beans on the tortilla and throw some cheese in the middle of it.
Easy. And you know what? And for most of the reason for it's because, I mean, of course, I got the privilege of growing up next to my grandma. So every morning, man, it was just like breakfast was all about beans and eggs in the morning. But bean and cheese tacos, it was quick. They were easy to prepare, and that was it, brother.
Like I grew up on tortilla con queso, man. Just like super. And a lot of people be like a quesadilla. No. Tortilla con queso is very different from a quesadilla.
Oh yeah, man. And those are good too. You get that Mexican cheese, bro. The one that comes in the ball. You get to unwrap it. Oh man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. What else you got, brother?
All right, man. So if somebody was trying to get into the industry, what's some advice that you might have for them?
I would say invest in yourself. For the most part, people tend to help everybody else first. And I did that in the beginning, not just with the whole podcast or just in life, but I would say definitely invest in yourself, man.
That's good advice, man.
Now I will ask the who will win in the fight because I wrote it.
Go for it, man.
As a horror nerd as well, who would win in a fight? Pinhead or Michael Myers?
I would say Michael Myers. Pinhead, even though I mean he's like one of those goth guys, man, and I get it. I'm a fan, but it's just like I think Michael Myers would just shred him, bro. Honestly.
I mean, you're not wrong. He is 100% one of those goth guys.
Yeah.
It's BDSM, all right.
Anything wrong with that, But for me, it's just Michael Myers would be like that poker face, man. Like he'd be getting stabbed and he wouldn't care. He would just keep going. It's like, let's go.
I asked that because Pinhead doesn't ever get attacked or damaged.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you see, and I think for the most part, it's because of his presence. I mean, people just see him and they fear. I mean, they see those pins on his head. But Michael Myers not giving a damn, he's not going to worry about that, man.
Yeah, Pinhead's sick is you solved a puzzle. Now you get a butt plug. What?
Yeah.
Prepare your butthole. Oh God! All right, man. So, what's next for you, man? You got any shows coming up? Any live appearances? What do you got? What do you got coming on?
Man, well, this weekend, starting tomorrow, I'm not going to be there tomorrow, but Big Texas Comic Con is going to be here this weekend. I'll be out there Saturday. The following weekend, I'm going to be 2 events. I'm going to be in Austin for the Blood Over Texas with the Art the Clown guy and a couple of great guests. Tarman's going to be out there, man. So that's going to be freaking cool as hell. But yeah, there's tons of stuff coming in this year, bro. It's going to be crazy.
Look how excited Graveyard Guy goes. Terrified.
I'm gonna be meeting him next month. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The original Art the Clown or the current Art the Clown?
The current.
the current that just put his hat in. Do you see yesterday to play
No.
Joker?
Oh,
What?
okay.
He wants to play the Joker.
I mean, I think the Joker's already dead, so why not? Put somebody else in there, man. I think they ruined him, dude. I mean, I after
Well, no, he wants to play Joker in DC because they're gonna again revamp the character eventually. He's the biggest.
Okay.
There is.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't. It's like one of those when people go back to the real Batman. Like, who is the real Batman? People always go back and they have their favorites, but it's just like I don't think they can be redone. I mean, same thing with like Freddy Krueger, man. Once he's done, like nobody else can do that, man. That's it.
Well, they showed us they can't be done. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
They tried, and it failed miserably.
Freddy. Absolutely terrible. All right, man. Where can everybody follow you, learn more about you? Like, give us all of your pluggables, man. Put yourself over.
Man, everything that I do is under Coming Soon Podcast. So, of course, when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to Instagram, Threads, Facebook, TikTok, I'm everything literally is under Coming Soon Podcast. So you just type that in and I'll pop up.
Awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on and talking podcasts with us and everything like that. We're gonna jump into these brackets now, man. If you want to hang around and give us all your opinion on these horror movies we're about to get into, because it's time for the bracket, baby.
Let's do it.
Yes. So to keep Mario up to speed where we were from last week, Gremlins 2 beat out Gremlins. Ernest Scared Stupid beat out The House with the Clock in its walls. Because I had to add Ernest Scared Stupid. Hotel Transylvania beat out Super 8. Coraline beat out The Watcher in the Woods. E.T. beat out The Halloween Tree. Upset there.
I wasn't upset.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark beat out Spirit Halloween. Casper beat out Monster Squad.
I still can't believe fucking
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that fucking Spirit Halloween has its own movie.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Return to Oz beat out Halloween Town.
Oh, wow.
As it should.
As it should.
Return to Oz.
Yeah.
Fucking movie was terrifying and fucking delicious at the same time.
Yep. All right, so that's where we are. So first up, we have The Curse of Bridge Hollow, which was 2022 with Marlon Wayans,
Right.
versus The Corpse Bride.
Oh, man. Okay.
I don't think I saw The Curse of Bridge Hollow.
No one did.
I actually, you know what? It's funny. I literally just saw it like last week, and when it popped up, I didn't know what it was, and I'm kind of regretting not knowing what it was. Yeah, I mean, Corpse Bride, dude, 100%, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just because I didn't know, I don't know what this movie is. I'm going with Corpse Bride. Corpse Bride is a good movie, though. So I mean,
Oh yeah.
I remember when we thought it was going to be a sequel to Nightmare Before Christmas.
just because it was the same type of animation, so everybody thought that's what it was going to be.
Right. Yeah. Arguably before Beetlejuice, best movie he's done in the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Corpse Bride. I think all of chat is going Corpse Bride as well, because let's face it, I'm sorry, Marlon Wayans, but no one saw your movie.
Absolutely nobody saw it.
I'm not sure he saw it.
Probably not. I'm sure he got paid, but other than that,
Oh, this is the same guy who did Little Man. So, all right.
Oh man, I remember that movie.
All right. Well, Corpse Bride does move forward. I don't think unless eight other people show up in chat and say, oh, "I love the Curse of Bridge Hollow," which isn't going to happen.
That's when you block them. You block them, bro.
Exactly. Say long saying corpse. Yeah, all Corpse Brides. All right. Next up, Eight-Legged Freaks
Ooh.
versus the original The Witches with Angelica Houston.
Eight-legged freaks, bro.
Eight-Legged Freaks.
That's
Cascarjo.
Sorry.
Because of ScarJo and Dave Arquette.
Oh yeah, but dude, that movie. I mean, man, I watched that like once a week. No joke. I love that movie.
I mean, not to say that Eight-Legged Freaks wasn't a good movie, but I mean, I have a lot of attachment to the Witches. I mean, and again, you talk about like just weird physical grotesqueness. And that movie has a lot of that.
Yeah. Like I said, I watched the new one that came out a couple years ago with Anne Hathaway. It just didn't even come close to hitting the same.
I didn't watch it at all. I heard they were pretty faithful to the book, but I mean, I still haven't seen that. I wanted to revisit the original before watching it, and then we never watched the remake because I rewatched the original and was like, oh god, this brings back memories. Them being the little mice and like just again the like the nasty explosions of like people and shit, and then I just had no desire to watch the remake.
It's not anywhere as good. Like the practical effects that was done in the original versus the CG doesn't even come close.
It was all CG fest.
Yeah.
That just
now,
throws it off.
Yeah. I have to say The Witches because my wife would kill me if I didn't say it. But I really do love Eight-Legged Freaks a lot.
I'm kind of like saying the same. I love Eight-Legged Freaks. It was a really good movie. But I'm going with The Witches because of the amount of nostalgia that I have for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, as of right now, Eight-Legged Freaks is winning.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Eight-Legged Freaks is winning?
Yeah. It's 4-3 right now.
And I don't even think I told you guys this earlier, man, but my nickname is Spider, right? I mean, I got that from my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu days, man, when I got to roll with Professor Carlos Machado up in Dallas.
Yeah.
And, I'm doing guard passes. I'm doing like handstand. I mean, I'm doing everything. And he's like, hey, this ain't capoeira. You're like a spider. You got 8 limbs. And so I kept it. I kept that nickname, bro. So I love spiders, brother.
That's awesome. So we'll let chat here catch up if anyone. I think everyone said something, so we'll see. While we're waiting for chat to catch up, next up is Monster House versus Beetlejuice.
I was just gonna say before we jump over, like, I'm wondering if the chat was like, "Oh man, The Witches was too scary." That's the point.
It's
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, as in the original, the 80s.
Yeah, the 80s.
Okay. I would, man, because of like you were talking about nostalgia, man. I mean, my kids were stuck on Monster House, man. I got a lot of good memories because of that. So I would go with Monster House.
I'm definitely going Beetlejuice just because it's there are like horrific moments in Beetlejuice. Monster House is, I felt like it was a lot of, like, both of those movies are just a lot of fun. But I feel like overall Beetlejuice was the one that was closer to being horror.
Oh yeah.
Well, chat did say his name 3 times. So.
Beetle guy.
4 times there we broke the curse, man.
There you go.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice because the monster across the street.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Yeah, Beetlejuice is the host with the most.
There you go. We're actually doing a Tim Burton, or not we, but the promoter here in 2 weeks, man. They're gonna have a big old Tim Burton thing going at the mall. So
nice.
That'd be cool, man.
All right.
I continuously do this whole thing. I'm just gonna say that for later.
I mean, it's probably one of the rare cases where you have the F-bomb in a PG movie.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So Beetlejuice moving on. Next up, we have Frankenweenie, the movie, not the short that was in the 80s, versus Poltergeist.
Oh man.
And before people come at me, Poltergeist is a PG horror movie, therefore a kids movie, kids horror.
You see, that was one of those. That was one of those I talked about earlier. I mean, I got to see that as a kid, man. So yeah,
I thought because the criteria is that it has to be PG-13. So because it's PG-13, it's considered horror. It's considered kids horror, and I'm just like, that is hilarious because I would not consider that movie kids horror at all.
I absolutely do. So.
They're here.
When it's made by Amblin Production Company, it's a kids movie. I'm sorry.
It's starting to resemble a lion's face a little bit.
I remember all the blues and purples inside lions' heads.
Well, I mean, it's the framework inside of his head. I've still got 2 minutes left, man.
He's doing the Dia de los Muertos theme. That's what it is.
El Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah.
You know, especially with him sitting next to his body. Look at that.
Yeah, there you go. That's old school right there, man.
Halloween style, right there.
Well, I mean, that's what happens if he stayed in the Stampede.
Yes, no, you're right. Would have been a clean cut like that too.
Wow. So we have 2 votes for Frankenweenie. The rest is Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Poltergeist is going to be the scarier kids movie, so
yeah.
Considering it's an actual horror movie and not one made for kids.
I wouldn't go so far as actual horror movie.
I wouldn't go that far, okay?
I'm saying it's a kids horror movie. But that's the thing, like that's what my point is. Like kids horror in the 80s were different than what we have now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because I think everyone let their kids watch Poltergeist when it came out.
Oh.
So that's why I have to justify it. But Poltergeist is moving on. All right. The movie that should have won a previous bracket of best Disney movie, Hocus Pocus, versus Paranorman.
Huh. I would go with Hocus Pocus on that one.
Phil, are you gonna run amok with us?
Amok. I'm voting. I'm voting for the one that had the hot sister that wouldn't be considered hot in any other movie.
Correct.
She was hot for that movie.
Yes, hands down. She's right up there for one of my childhood crushes from that movie.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen Paranormal. I know what it is, and I've seen the clips, but I don't think I've ever seen the movie itself.
It's that studio. They also did Phil, you know the animation studio, right?
Yeah. Paranorman is not a bad movie. It's just it is 100% meant for kids.
Yeah. It's whoever did this, the studio that did Kubo and the Two Strings, and yeah.
So like it's visually it's a great movie, right? And it's like got a really good storyline. It's just it's just a story about a weird kid.
Yes, that sees ghosts.
Right.
And his ringtone is the Halloween theme song.
Oh, no.
Cell phone. I was just watching something today that said that was one of the first kids movies that had queer representation in it. Because it was Casey Affleck, right?
Yeah.
His character was gay in it, and that was really unheard of in the PG kids movie. All right, but all that being said,
it was probably because it was a horror movie that's why, like, you know, people weren't all in some crazy ass uproar about it.
Yeah.
Right.
No, the hype.
Yeah.
That's why like half of Florida didn't boycott it.
Yeah. All right. Well, as of right now, Hocus Pocus is moving forward.
Oh man, nice.
As it should.
I don't disagree. All right. Next up, and these are OGs. Goosebumps the movie. So the first one with Jack Black versus Tim Burton's The Addams Family.
Oh, the Addams Family.
Oh man, yeah, Addams Family.
If you go back and watch the Addams Family like now, it was one of those movies that was, again, obviously meant for kids in the early 90s. But there's some disturbing shit in the Addams Family movie.
No, yeah, I was gonna say it was ahead of its time. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you see now, and you're like, damn.
You know, there was shit that was disturbing because, like, you look at the old show, right? The old show with John Astin, right? Like, it was not really a horrific show. It was kind of more of a, like, it was just, you know, this weird family, and they had funny quirks and things like that. But they made it like a full-on horror movie when they did the movies in the 90s, and it was just Tim Burton and his like horror, because it's not really horror, but it's like his goth sensibilities that made it the way it was. And there are like certain scenes that are like, God, if this went just one step above, this would be a full-on horror movie.
Yeah, it was that dark humor. You know, he had that sense of humor, man.
Right.
And being a child when it came out, it made me realize I like goth girls.
Oh yeah. That, and then later on, Danny Phantom. So,
you remember the sequel? You know, Family Reunion was able to make the only movie to make Joan Cusack look hot too.
Oh my God, she looked good in that movie. She looked pretty good in that movie. Trying to mess with Uncle Fester.
Well, and what's really funny is you think if she just admitted that she was the serial killer, they would have welcomed her with open arms and given her anything she wanted.
Yeah.
Straight up, like, you really think about that. Like, that whole movie would have been over. She just told him that she was a serial killer.
Right.
It would have been like the end.
Right.
Yeah.
She'd been married and gotten the money. Easy peasy.
It would have been a short film, literally.
Oh, I think they could have made it where they, like, you know, go around killing people together as a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would have been like, you know, do you believe in magic? And it would have been like a slow scene with them just axe murdering people.
It would have been like Natural Born. Was it Natural Born Killers?
Yeah.
Going around. Yeah. There you go. I can see that.
The movie, the plot of that movie doesn't make sense because everyone's like, "Oh, she's in my, you know, serial killer trading cards," and they should be like, "Cool, we want our uncle to marry her." Not, they shouldn't marry. Of course, we didn't get Pugsley, you know, singing "Eat Me." Without that,
the turkey scene.
Yeah.
Eat me.
All right, so Addams Family moves up. Next up, the original Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion.
Oh God.
Ugh.
Versus Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Something Wicked This Way Comes. That movie, that fucking Eddie Murphy movie was horrible.
Yeah, that Eddie Murphy, no down.
Nothing against Eddie Murphy. He was doing family films at the time, but just I blame Disney for the shit that was that movie.
No, yeah.
The real question is, can they make a good Haunted Mansion movie? They've done 3, and all of them have been horrible.
The Muppets, for what it was not bad. If given it was a Muppets movie, it was meant to be a Muppet movie that was an homage to the ride.
Nice.
With John Stamos, yes.
But what's funny is the John Stamos scene. Literally, the joke is that he's in the movie. The joke is that he is the horror in the movie because he's in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, my wife loves all things Muppet movie wise, and she hated that.
Really?
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like about that particular Muppet movie, because I love Muppet movies too, the only reason I didn't like that particular one was the new voice actor for Kermit just rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like
Oh
it.
yeah, that wasn't good.
Yeah. All right. Well, something wicked this way came. Next up, my God, we have a lot of Tim Burton on this list.
I mean, the dude made a lot of like kid level horror movies.
Yeah. Nightmare Before Christmas,
Yes,
Scooby Doo, and The Witch's Ghost.
that's right.
Nightmare.
Now, so I remember you put that on the list because specifically it's the only time Scooby Doo has actually gone up against a real ghost.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's still Nightmare Before Christmas, but I mean,
I mean, who are we kidding?
it's funny is I'm finishing Simba this week, but you know what I start building next week? Starting next week,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
I got the Nightmare Before Christmas kit.
Can we play Marilyn Manson's version of This Is Halloween?
I wish we could not have a DMCA takedown. We would also need. I would particularly have to play Korn's version of "Kidnap the Santa Claus."
Yes, you would.
That is, every year I listen to that song. That's like one of my favorite songs. La 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 la.
There you go. Yes, no one's voting for Scooby Doo. I'm so shocked.
Are you really shocked that nobody is voting for Scooby Doo?
No.
I mean, if it would have been the Haunted Mansion with what's his name and freaking Scooby Doo, I'd go with Scooby Doo.
There you go. All right, so we're back up to the top of the list. So next up, we have Gremlins 2 versus Ernest Scared Stupid.
Oh man, Ernest Scared Stupid, man.
Yeah. If it would have been Gremlins 1 would have taken that, but no. I'm still upset that Gremlins 2 beat out Gremlins 1.
Did it really?
Yeah.
What? Wow. Okay.
It's our chat that gets to vote on everything. So
Yeah. Wow.
We count chat's vote, and sometimes they're just wrong.
yeah. Let me just give you an example of something they've done in the past. They voted for I know I'm always going to bring this up. They voted, so we did a Star Wars best character,
Right.
and they voted for Padme Amidala over Darth Maul.
Wow, dude.
Exactly.
Wow.
That one broke my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Man, are you sure it wasn't robots voting?
Yeah, it still pains me to this day that they did that to me.
Yeah, that's. I wouldn't have seen that coming.
Little did we know that Natalie Portman was in chat that day. Right? Yeah, that's what happened.
Damn.
All right. Well, so far, Ernest Scared Stupid, just because, the trolls were Killer Clowns from Outer Space painted brown.
Actually, I talked to the directors. They were here a couple of months back, man. And
Cheetos?
Yeah. And I had asked them, and they said that it wasn't the original molds were destroyed. So it wasn't the original molds, that they did use costumes that looked, but they weren't from the original Killer Clown costumes.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know how that came about, but yeah, man. I mean, I have it on video somewhere on my YouTube, I think. But it's just when they said that, I heard about that before too, but it was kind of cool, like hearing them say it, because they were like, it wasn't them. So.
Because I heard it wasn't. I heard it wasn't the molds. It was the actual costumes being used.
Yeah.
So they bought. So
Yeah,
maybe they just didn't make the molds themselves. I don't know. I'd have to.
I know. Yeah. Who knows, man? I mean, that was one of those things that, somebody got a hold of the costumes. I mean, hell, budget. Why not? Just paint them.
Oh, people reuse stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, Vern should be happy because Ernest Scared Stupid does move forward.
Nice.
All right. Next up, this is
we honor Vern's memory.
We do.
I named that my dog Slingshot, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah, Brumshot. I'm sorry.
All right, next up is Hotel Transylvania,
Yeah.
because people thought that was better than Super 8.
I don't know how they thought that was better than Super 8. Super 8's a fucking good movie, dude.
Yeah. Versus Coraline.
Ooh,
Uh,
man,
Coraline, because to an extent, Coraline is an actual horror movie versus.
it's yeah, it's creepy as hell, dude. Like I couldn't watch Coraline when my kids were like they were watching that. I was like, damn, that shit used to creep me out.
Yeah.
So, because of that, Coraline. I mean, I would rather watch the other one, but
Hotel Transylvania is I wouldn't consider it horror. It's more
nah.
a kids movie that that has like universal versions of Universal monsters in it.
Right.
I wouldn't even call it a comedy.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
probably say it was more comedy than it was a.
You see, and it goes back to like what I was talking about the Albert and Costello meet the Frank. You know, it's funny. You know, and that for me, I mean, that's what I like. But talking about horror,
Yeah.
Coraline.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like I said, I've talked this many times over that eventually everything horror becomes a laugh joke, because you have, let's face it, Freddy became a laughing joke towards the end of the franchise that he had, and just become, when it's just parodying mainstream, it loses its stuff. Eventually everything turns into comedy, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just what do they call that old phrase with Happy Days? Jump the shark.
Yep.
It becomes at the end where they just do something that nobody expects and everything dies.
Yeah.
Oh man, his face is ripped off. It's perfect.
I was gonna say this shit now with the eyes.
It looks like one of those science dummies, you know, where they used to show the skin and the veins and everything.
That was my first girlfriend. What are you talking about?
This reminds me of Johnny Five.
Oh, nice.
Johnny Five with ears.
Is alive. There you go.
It's alive.
Man. And it's funny about that movie is we didn't think it was problematic when we were kids.
That movie is wildly problematic if you go back and watch it. I watched it again recently.
Bro.
I don't think we realized it though as kids.
Definitely did not.
Aaron Watson wants Transylvania 5000.
Oh man, yeah.
That's
Sorry.
fantastic.
And I want to see it. That's a
Fucking
good
movie
one.
was absolutely terrible too.
What? Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum in their third 80s movie together?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh no, you know what? I was thinking of the wrong movie.
What were you thinking of?
I was thinking of fucking Transylvania or Dracula 2000 or whatever the fuck it was.
You leave Jesus being killed by Judas and Judas becoming a vampire played by Gerard Butler out of your mouth. Love that movie.
That movie, I was actually supposed to be the movie that was supposed to kick off the Marvel horror or the Universal horror universe that they were doing. They were doing Dracula 2000.
No, it's Dracula Untold.
Or Dracula Unchained. Sorry, Dracula. Yeah, Dracula Untold. That's the movie I'm thinking of.
Yes.
Fuck, I keep trying to. I keep saying the wrong names.
Yeah, Dracula 2000 was when they did Hollow Man and The Mummy in that same time.
That one was fine. The one Dracula Untold or Dracula
Untold
or whatever.
Yes, with the guy who played Gaston in the Beauty and Beast remake.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a fine actor. He's actually a great actor. He wasn't the problem with that movie.
No.
The script was the problem with that movie. Like, let's make Dracula an overall hero.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in fairness, he was a hero to his village. Anyone watching the MLB playoffs, no say Wong. We're building Legos and talking kids horror movies.
Yeah, actually, on the side, I am watching the Seahawks and the Niners playing right now. So, but we're not going to say that the Niners are winning right now.
Oh.
Anything that has 2000 in the title is almost always bad, says Daylong Fam Cosplay. Maybe.
Yeah, the current score right now is San Francisco 23, Seattle 17.
That's football.
Say one, let's that's not the MLB playoffs. That's football.
That's footy ball. I said I'm talking footy balls right now.
All right, so Coraline moves forward. Next up, we have the finger probe alien himself, E.T.
I love that ended up on the horror on a horror bracket.
So I'll tell Mario the reason why it's on the horror bracket. My co-host Salem is absolutely terrified of ET.
Oh damn!
He was a kid that saw it many times in a row in the theater because they didn't have air conditioning growing up. So they watched it, and he said him and his sister still have nightmares to this day about ET.
Damn.
So I had to throw in there just for him. All right,
Because of that, I'm gonna vote for ET, man.
so ET versus Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark,
Oh,
which is officially getting a sequel. Finally,
Is it?
yes.
that's actually a tough one, man, for me. Because of the nostalgia. I mean, when it comes to horror, yeah, I mean, I would go with Scary Stories, but if I had to pick one, I would definitely go with ET. For me,
Yeah.
Because like us, you grew up reading the books.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. Yeah. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I know, Phil, we discussed last week. You haven't even seen it yet.
I haven't seen the movie now.
You need to.
Yeah.
If you like the original books, you're gonna love the way the creatures look in that.
yes, definitely.
Yeah. Because I like the drawings alone just used to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid. So, chat is saying all Scary Stories. No one likes ET and his finger probes. I mean,
That's the scary part right there, man. You're like,
Stop touching my wiener.
Elliot, ouch! Stop touching me, ET.
I had found the ET finger like in a package, like in the card and all, like years back, man. I had it for years, and finally I sold it with a bundle deal I did with somebody because they wanted it. I'm like, take it.
I mean, I'm sure there's an ET finger vibrator somewhere.
Oh yeah,
Eat
somewhere.
finger vibrator.
Well, I'm pretty sure the original toy vibrated.
Yeah.
All right. Next up.
On home.
Next up, we have Dan Aykroyd with his terrible, terrible mustache in Casper versus the Goblin King that's killed by Henrietta, Return to Oz.
Oh man. Wow.
So again, Casper's extent to being a horror movie
Mm-hmm.
was the uncles were kind of like scary for 10 seconds in the movie, and then they were just douchebags for the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, watching it as a kid, I mean, that was hard because man, who wants to live through that? You know.
Right. But
the fucking Wheelers are Return to Oz.
Return to Oz 100% is a fucking scary movie. So we're going with I'm going with Return to Oz.
I would do the same. I mean, when it comes to horror, Return to Oz.
Oh yeah, Return to Oz, hands down for me as well. I said you had decapitated women trying to steal your head. You had a metal guy. You had essentially Jack Skellington. A couch that came to life with a moose head on it.
You're talking about the Pumpkin King who inspired Jack Skellington.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So you want to say Casper just because of Dan Aykroyd's cameo is Ray. Yeah. Wow. See, this is how chat does this.
Remember, Sewong is a big fan. He is a big Ghostbusters fan. So anything Ghostbusters, he's gonna.
Oh, nice.
But Say Wong, it had a metal man that came to life as a robot. You should like Return to Oz. Yes, the lawyer from Casper is from Monty Python. Yes, Eric Idle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So Casper is winning this.
No.
We're the only ones that vote for Return to Oz.
Are you serious?
I am dead
Casper is
serious.
not scarier than fucking. Guys, are you forgetting what we're voting on here?
I think they are.
Scariest kids horror movie.
Yeah.
Casper is not scarier than Return to Oz. Return to Oz is horrifying.
Oh, chat.
Lone Star.
Chat.
I think they're doing it on purpose. They know that I'm getting upset about this. So they're like, no, vote for it now.
Okay, Taylor says to change your vote. Okay, Taylor, what's scarier? A house of ghosts that you can party with, or people trying to steal your fucking head?
So Sandra just texted me right now. She said, just let it be, Phil. Casper's better. Calm down. That is absolute bullshit. That is bullshit.
Oh, Taylor said Return to Oz.
There we go. That's right. Vote in the right direction. Casper's absolutely not scarier than Return to Oz. Return to Oz literally is a scary movie. Go and watch that movie. That movie's so scary. The DeLongs probably wouldn't let their son watch it. And they let him watch everything.
See, Long said a Ghostbuster could not stop the ghosts in this. Well, in fairness, say Wong, you know else that Ray Stans didn't bust the blowjob ghost. All right.
Then his eyes roll back.
Yes. So there you go. Maybe he ran out because they wouldn't blow him. But with Taylor's changing his vote. See, DeLong fam says that Return to Oz is scarier, but Casper is better. That's fair.
Is it?
No, it's not. I run this damn bracket. All right, next up, Corpse Bride.
No, wait, who won?
Oh, Return to Oz.
Did Return to Oz actually win?
Yeah, because
nice.
Taylor changed his vote. So
Thank you, God.
all right. Corpse Bride versus Eight-Legged Freaks.
Oh, dude.
So we get to some of these brackets. It's just like, okay, yeah, the first one was a throwaway, but now we go, oh shit, now we have to really think about this.
Yeah, man. I would still go with Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yeah, I think I'm going Eight-Legged Freaks on this too, just because Eight-Legged Freaks is between the two is the scarier movie.
Yeah. Had a lot of jump scares too, man.
Fucking spiders, man. Those things are fucking scary looking.
Well, now what Eight-Legged Freaks is showing Americans what it's like to live in Australia.
Yes.
So you're also voting Eight-Legged Freaks. All right. So once again, it's all right. I thought Chad was gonna be all against us again. 2 for Corpse, 2 for Eight-Legged Freaks. So I think Eight-Legged Freaks is gonna win that one. He has no nose.
He's so creepy looking. He looks like C-3PO.
There you go. It makes sense though, right? I mean, both had James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
That's true. That's 100% true. No fault in that whatsoever.
All right, so Eight-Legged Freaks is moving forward. Next up, we have Beetlejuice versus Poltergeist.
Poltergeist.
Tyler said he can seriously hear me right now.
Good, because he's outside your window watching you.
100% right through my curtain right now.
He has no pants on either, so just be warned.
Yeah, that track.
Wait, are we supposed to be wearing pants?
No.
Oh, okay.
But when it's your neighbor outside Phil's window, maybe. Are you saying Poltergeist?
Oh yeah. Poltergeist.
What were you again? It's Poltergeist and what?
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Oh God. This is one of those things where I want to say Beetlejuice just because I like that movie that much
Yeah.
more.
Mhm.
But between Beetlejuice and Poltergeist, Poltergeist is the scarier movie.
Yeah. I don't know though. It did have, the dad from Beetlejuice is pretty scary. Jeffrey Jones.
Oh God.
Poltergeist says Tater. Ooh, chat's going Beetlejuice as well. Let's
Yeah.
see. Say along, what say you? Of course, he's also still watching probably the MLB playoffs. I couldn't tell he was in the playoffs right now, so yeah.
Nah.
He's probably watching it for the Dodgers, so no one cares.
I mean, no one ever cares about the Dodgers, right?
Exactly.
Wow. 3-4 right now in favor of Poltergeist. Oh, say Wong's a Yankees fan.
Oh, come on, bro. Are you serious? Could you be more cliche?
I only like the LA Lakers.
I got a lot. It's like liking the Cowboys. God, fuck.
Bruce voted Beetlejuice. Has Bruce seen Poltergeist, Sandra? Saying.
Bruce is their 9-year-old son.
Right, so he's of age to see Poltergeist. It's PG-13.
He saw Deadpool. He saw all 3 Deadpool movies, man. He can watch the Poltergeist.
Yes.
He literally went to the theater with me to go see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Moose. Oh man, that means we're tied 4-4 because Bruce voted Beetlejuice.
Oh damn.
All right, so we got to get a another vote here somewhere. Phil, does anyone have anything to say on Instagram or anything?
Oh, that's right, Instagram. No one has voted on Instagram.
Damn
All
it.
right, hold on.
Say flip a coin.
We take this seriously, our brackets.
Hey, Jack. We need a tiebreaker. I got to see if you've seen these movies. Have you seen Poltergeist?
Talking to the guy outside the window.
You've obviously seen.
No, he's in the chat.
Oh.
Scarier of the two. Guys, Jackie says Poltergeist.
Nice.
Okay.
Done.
I mean, with potentially Craig T. Nelson coming on my show, I gotta say Poltergeist. And keep it there too.
I have to say Poltergeist because I'm having a Poltergeist actor on my show.
Right.
Oh yeah. There you go. There you go.
Dad votes Poltergeist. All right, Poltergeist is moving on.
I
That was a close call there.
Yeah, like I said, Poltergeist is definitely the scarier of the two movies. I do love Beetlejuice just as a movie in general, but it's not scarier between the two.
All right, next up is the Addams Family versus Hocus Pocus.
At the time that I saw it, I would say Addams Family, just because it did.
That's pulling teeth for me, but I think I'm gonna go Addams Family just because Addams Family is more intentionally a scary movie by comparison.
I don't know. I'd be terrified to be named Thackeray.
That is the scariest part of that movie, though, is that his name is fucking Thackeray Binks.
I always thought that she had a lisp when she said his names. I thought I was just trying to say Zachary. No, Thackeray. I'm like, come on.
Dost thou name mean Zachary in I don't know. Trying to do a joke, didn't land. Said fuck it.
I mean, I would say that Doug Jones was easily the scariest part of Hocus Pocus.
Doug Jones. That Doug Jones is a fucking zombie. Was amazing.
Yes, as Billy.
Really?
Yeah. All right. Well, Adam's Family is
When he cuts his mouth open and he goes, "Hag."
yeah. All right. So Adam's Family does move on. Next up is Something Wicked This Way Comes versus Nightmare Before Christmas.
So I know Sandra is gonna vote for Nightmare no matter what because it's her all-time favorite movie.
Yeah. I mean, as far as horror, I would go with Something Wicked.
Oh, yeah. It's as far as yeah, I agree. As far as horror is concerned, Something Wicked This Way Comes is easily
Nightmare.
scarier.
I enjoy it, and I do. You know, I mean, that was probably my favorite. But yeah, when it comes to being scary,
I mean, can you get scarier than fucking Ray Bradbury? I'm just
Not really, no.
yeah, because like Ray Bradbury shit is like, it's not just intentionally scary. It's also like there's a creep factor to it
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that kind of like adds to it's kind of like the level of why it should be the scarier movie.
I mean, I agree, but he also wrote off his other movie, The Halloween Tree. So
We did write off Halloween Tree.
not we, chat did. And chat is all saying Nightmare Before Christmas.
Of course they are. I mean, I'm not upset with it, but I am at the same time just because the premise is what's the scarier movie, and the Something Wicked This Way Comes is definitely the scarier of the two.
Yeah.
I don't think that chat wants to let Nightmare Before Christmas like I knowing this chat,
Mhm.
Nightmare Before Christmas might take the whole thing.
I agree. That's why I almost left off the list.
Yeah.
There's just some things when I'm doing these brackets that I just go, I know how chat's going to end up with this. And, you know, we'll see the progress to get there, but we all know how it ends. All right. We're at our top 8.
Top 8.
Yes. So, first up for our top 8, Ernest Scared Stupid versus Coraline.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm going Ernest because those trolls were creepy as hell as a kid.
So that's the only reason that I'm moving towards Ernest is because of fucking trolls.
I'm gonna stick with Coraline because it still creeps the hell out of me. I mean, even now, like I'd be like, yeah, I would watch Ernest all day, but yeah.
It's something about her like button eyes and the fucking like murder factory with the
bro,
factor with her family. Like if you know the lore behind it, it's a lot scarier.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah. I mean, but it's just like the movie itself too, man. Like when I first watched it, I was like, man, I was kind of disturbed. I was like, damn, like this is like there was a lot of watching it as an adult. I guess I could read into it more. You know, the kids were having fun because they're like, oh, it's a button eyes, and I'm thinking like, hell, a little too much.
Yeah, like
I'm sitting there thinking like I could have had another mother.
Yeah. Your other mother.
if you're like, you know, if you're an adult and you know the lore behind the story,
Mm-hmm.
how fucking creepy it is. Like that's kind of one of the things with Burton is that Tim Burton tends to do shit like that. Like it's a lot creepier if you're an adult and you understand the storyline.
Oh yeah.
It's like a cool thing for kids, but it's just creepy for adults.
Yeah.
And Burton's like a master of that kind of shit.
I think that's where he coined it because I mean I guess he knew like the people that were watching were going to be a little bit older and they had kids, so the kids would want to watch it, and you know it was genius.
It's like Edward Scissorhands. Like if you go back and watch Edward Scissorhands as an adult, that movie is fucking creepy.
Yeah,
like
man.
how do you wipe his ass?
Just more like so why when you're building your essentially robot son, instead of giving him hands, you gave him scissors for fingers?
Because it was Vincent fucking Price.
It was Vincent Price.
And it's not Coraline, it's not Tim Burton, it's Neil Gaiman.
But didn't Tim Burton direct the movie though?
No.
He was the director on it.
It was the same studio that did Kubo.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought Burton had his hand in that movie.
Yeah, he was inspired by.
I do know that it's a Neil Gaiman book.
Yeah.
And I mean that also is part of why it's so creepy, is because fucking Neil Gaiman is a genius when it comes to writing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at The Shining. I mean, Stanley Kubrick did his piece with it, and I think his version is the best when it comes to movie. You know.
Well, I mean, yes, the book's obviously better, but
Oh yeah. But I'm saying, like, compared to like the TV movie, you know, it's just
yeah,
definitely what Kubrick.
Did either of you guys watch Doctor Sleep?
of course.
I haven't actually watched it.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Well, they had to because Stanley Kubrick hated the ending of The Shining. He notoriously changed it,
Right.
so they had to do the actual ending of The Shining for Doctor Sleep because.
Right.
Damn.
All right, so Mara, you said Coraline.
Yes.
Phil, you said Ernest.
Yes.
Wow.
Is it
Ernest moves forward.
Ernest moves forward. Yay! Only because I'm too far away from the soundboard to actually hit it. So
Wow. I'm shocked by that one. I really am. I didn't think Ernest Scared Stupid would make it this far.
And I think it's going to be more because he's a fan favorite, man. I mean, like I said, I watch his movies all the time. So
that's because that movie legitimately has scary scenes in it.
Yeah.
For a movie that's basically a parody of horror movies, it does have actual scary scenes in it.
Yeah. His search for Mulk. Yes, terrifying. All right. Next up, scary stories to tell in the dark versus Return to Oz.
Ooh.
I'm going with Oz. Return to Oz.
I don't know how I feel on this one because
You haven't seen one of them.
yeah, but I mean, scary movies to tell or scary stories to tell in the dark is supposed to be an intentionally scary movie. Whereas Return to Oz was just a horrific take on a book that wasn't even really like meant to be scary, but ended up turning out the way because of the way that they did it.
Yeah,
Right. I mean, like all the characters were easily from the book. So they had the Wheelers, they had Mamba. That was all lore related.
Right. Is there how many Oz books were there? There were 4 Oz books, right?
I thought there was like 13.
Yeah, I was going
So
to
that
say
many?
quite a bit.
There's a lot. I think maybe Frank only wrote maybe 3 or 4 of them.
Right, and then that's probably why I'm like thinking like there was only like 3 of them or 4 of them because yeah, I know his descendants wrote more books, but I mean like ones that he wrote.
Right. Just think of, just like Dune or The Wheel of Time, just someone else continuing it.
Funny enough, because Frey just texted me right now and said she's on book 12 right now.
Of The Wheel of Time?
Wheel of Time.
It's called The Wheel of Time because you have to spend all the day reading these books.
Yeah.
So, Phil, what are you going with? You're the tiebreaker.
I'm the tiebreaker.
Oh, damn, no pressure.
So it's scary movies to tell in the dark versus
Return to Oz.
Return to Oz. I still say Return to Oz was just a more terrifying movie as far as I mean, like how accurate were some of the monsters in Scary Stories? Because like some of those monsters were fucking like when you saw the artist renditions of them were fucking scary as fuck.
I'd say very accurate to the pictures.
Oh god. This becomes hard just because some of those ghosts were like really.
Yeah. So you have in the book you have essentially the contortionist body that's able to take his body apart. You have the scarecrow. You have, I guess, the blob mother monster, whatever you want to call her, and then somebody has my toe.
Which one was the scary like fucking fat blob monster thing?
Yeah, she's in that.
She's in that.
Yeah.
Like it looks like some kind of like gluttony, like it looks like the embodiment of gluttony, like trying to like eat a person kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
It's Grimace with hair.
Oh. But Return to Oz,
Yeah.
has some really like disturbing scenes in it too, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say for me, it's more the creep factor, man. I think that's what got me because Scary Stories was meant to be scary, so we expected it. But Return with the Osmo one, it kind of crept up on you, and you're like, damn,
Yeah.
like it kind of caught you off guard.
Oh, I completely agree.
Yeah.
So Phil, where are you at with your Lego? Because we're at that time.
He just sold me on. On something that I was already leaning towards, anyways.
What's that?
Where am I at on my Legos? I'm almost done with this kit.
Okay.
If you want to go just a couple minutes.
Yep.
Right here.
Absolutely.
Right. So yeah, I'm going with Return to Oz.
All right. That moves forward. Next up. Ooh. Eight-legged freaks.
Uh-oh.
Versus Poltergeist.
Oh man, damn it. Man, I'd go with Poltergeist personally.
Oh, you're switching gears.
Eight-legged freaks, because I would enjoy it. I mean, that's like I said, that's my go-to. I would definitely, if I had to watch one or the other, I would go with eight-legged freaks. But as far as being like scary, like Poltergeist, bro. That static TV still does it to me.
Yeah, that's why one of our new merch shirts is Carol Ann's going, like, looking at us going, they're here, and it's our logo on the TV and all blurry.
Oh yeah,
I like it.
Say, well, I'm going for spiders.
Go to tpublic.com.
All right, what do you think, Phil?
I think I go Poltergeist, just because Poltergeist is intended to be a scary movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going Poltergeist. Like I said, I love Eight-Legged Freaks because it is like the Burt I. Gorman and Roger Corman creature features.
Yeah, it really is.
And I absolutely loved it for that.
But it was also making fun of those kind of movies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was
very
parody. Yeah, it was very much parody for a movie that was as what it was.
You could argue that most of Roger Corman stuff was parodies of other movies.
Wait, was that movie Roger Corman?
No, but I'm saying he did stuff like that. You know, he's the one that did like Carnosaur to combat Jurassic Park.
Yeah. No, for a second I thought you were telling me that was a Roger Corman film. Like, what the fuck?
No, I'm saying it's inspired by Mr. Big, Burt I. Gorman, and Roger Corman for that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. To determine our last seed in the final four, the Addams Family versus Nightmare Before Christmas.
Chad is gonna vote Nightmare Before Christmas, but the Addams Family should totally win that.
Yeah. Going back to like when I first saw it, yeah, Addams Family. That still does it.
Yeah. I concur. Addams Family for me.
Let's see. Nightmare Before Christmas, I just got the song in my head, so it's like it's one of those stuck in your brain, but
this is Halloween. Halloween.
There you go.
I don't know if you know Leo Moricelli, the Swedish guy, Norwegian guy that does metal covers. He did This Is Halloween in the metal cover.
Oh, nice. Damn.
I listen to his stuff all the time because I love metal covers.
I've heard a few, man, and they actually, man, they sell it. I mean, they sound freaking great, so
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
I think even Trent Reznor did this Halloween.
Damn. Okay, that I haven't heard. I can't think of-
Reznor doing This Is Halloween is fucking dope.
Yeah. All right. So only so far, 2 votes for Nightmare from chat.
One of them, Sandra.
Yes.
Do it.
And the other is Say Wong.
Really?
Taylor saying Adam's Family wasn't scary for him, and you're saying Nightmare Before Christmas was.
Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas made Tater piss his pants.
So
The
he's going
rapid
Nightmare.
fire, or what?
There's only one thing that I do not like about Nightmare Before Christmas. You ready for it?
Huh.
The Christmas part.
True. True.
I am not a Christmas lover as a whole.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do family friendly Hallmark movies for a podcast. All right. Well, Sandra, you gotta convince other people to get your Nightmare, because so far Adam's Family's winning.
Oh.
So Sandra voted, Tater voted, of course Bruce voted Nightmare Before Christmas.
Sandra, you better start calling people up and being like, "Hey, I need you to get on the show. Vote right now."
Well, that brings us at a tie. So, the Jack.
Let Jack. Jack, we need another tiebreaker. Scarier movie, Nightmare Before Christmas, or all of a sudden I forgot again. What was the other one? Adam's Family, the original. Right. Our argument. Jackie said Nightmare.
What?
Oh man. You know, Phil, you know what we should do with our brackets is have our wives go over the brackets and the decisions made, because this list was made from my wife, who loves these movies to no end. So I had her make me a list of 32. And I'd love to see what she voted. She would vote on all of these. So
Right.
I think it'd just be interesting, like the after the nerd.
I would be curious which movies Jackie has seen, because I'm sure she hasn't seen like a lot of the ones that are on the general list.
Probably. All right. So he still has his lower mandible to build there.
Yeah, just the bottom part of his mouth.
Okay. You want to keep going and finish this bracket?
Where are we at on time? I think we can last. How are you feeling right now, Mario?
I'm good.
Good? All right.
All
Yeah.
right.
If Mario's in, we're in. Let's do this.
Okay.
Finish the bracket.
Final four. Ernest Scared Stupid versus Return to Oz.
Ooh. Ernest
This
Scared
is to go into the championship here.
and Return to Oz. Okay, again, much as I love Ernest,
Yeah.
Return to Oz is by far the scarier movie.
I'd go the same. Return to Oz.
Oh yeah, hands down.
There's
Uh-oh.
something scary about a lion that doesn't have a lower mandible.
Oh, damn.
I mean, I'd rather be attacked by that lion.
Yeah.
You don't want to deal with like the law jocking
No.
or the jaw locking.
Yeah, it can't rip apart my arm with just one part of its face.
It's only a baby lion. You say that until it bites your fucking arm off.
Exactly. Yeah, chat is all going Return to Oz,
Good.
except Say Wong.
Saewon would be the only one that doesn't vote for Return to Oz. Return to Oz is a unintentionally yet fucking horrifyingly scary movie.
Mhm.
They did not mean to make a scary movie. They meant to make just like a weird
Kids movie.
kids movie, and it ended up being a fucking crazy scary movie.
Yeah. All right, so let's see who's going to be going up against Return to Oz between Poltergeist and Nightmare Before Christmas.
It's gonna be Nightmare, but I say Poltergeist.
Yeah, I want to say Poltergeist on that one.
I agree, but we know how this chat is.
Actually, if it does come down to a tiebreaker,
Mhm.
the good thing is that Jackie is very objective when it comes to this. So she's not going to go for this one's my favorite movie. She's going to go for, well, no, Poltergeist is a scarier movie.
Yeah.
All right, we already got 2 votes in for Nightmare. 2 or 3 for Poltergeist. I'm sorry, Craig T. Nelson, if you're watching this right now.
Wait, one of those votes Say Wong. I have to ask that.
Yes.
I did not know Say Wong was that big of a Nightmare Before Christmas fan.
Oh, Taylor saying Poltergeist. Ooh.
Because that is an obvious kind of how Sandra's voting right now. It is a obvious. I'm voting for it because it's one of my favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Only 2 Nightmares in chat to 3 in chat for Poltergeist. So we're up 5-2.
Nice.
I like this. Now Sandra's like going to be calling everyone.
She's gonna be
Steve down the street says it's Nightmare Before Christmas.
she's gonna be mad at me if anything.
That's fair. I don't live anywhere near you, so I don't have to deal with her wrath. Now, my wife's wrath, yes, I will definitely have to deal with that.
Is your wife going to be upset that Nightmare lost?
Yeah.
But I mean, it lost the
Well,
Poltergeist.
maybe. She loves Poltergeist as well. So,
But what I'm saying is, it's losing. If it loses the Poltergeist. In a, we're asking what the scarier movie is. So I mean, like, you can't be upset with that.
No, yeah.
I mean, you can, but you can't at the same time.
Sandra's saying all 19 of her students are saying that, which is interesting because there's only 7 people in chat.
Okay, I have finished. Simba.
You have finished?
Nice.
Nice. Oh, his head moves.
His head moves. Doesn't go up and I guess not.
Oh, you're not finished. What about his jaw? Does it open and close?
Not really.
Oh.
Like it seems the way it's built, it seems like it's supposed to, but like his tongue is so big that it doesn't move in his mouth.
Nice.
And then his tail and all that. Simba.
All I would say is the kid showing his parents the severed head. Okay, I would say looking in the mirror and tearing your face to the bone is more terrifying than that.
Oh, is she giving us an argument for Nightmare?
The possessed toys chasing down the kids in the hallway. A boy was nearly raped by a clown and a tree. All right.
I will give you this. Some of the characters that are in that movie are kid scary. I can't say like they're scary, but I mean like there are things in that movie that are disturbing more than anything.
Yeah.
Right. So but I mean that's at the same time that movie at this point is what parents use to normalize horror for kids. Because it is one of those things that is kind of a mild horror.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I think it's the whole generation gap because I mean, me watching Poltergeist when I was a kid, I mean, at that point in time, it scared me. I was young. I mean, if I watch it now, it would still creep me out, more than Nightmare. But
Yeah.
my kids watching Nightmare as kids, yeah, they would have probably just agreed. That was.
I mean, we were all watching things. We were watching Freddy Krueger as kids. We were watching fucking Jason and Michael Myers as kids. Like as kids, we were watching some of the scariest shit. You know what I mean? And like,
and we all turn out just fine and normal.
sure,
Yeah.
it's like we didn't really get mild horror until like kid style horror until late 80s, most of the 90s, like the early 90s, because that's where you get Nightmare. That's where you get Beetlejuice. That's where you get, well, Beetlejuice is like 87, but I mean, like, that's where you get like stuff like that was late 80s. Even to an extent, Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Monster Squad had some more horror-y elements to it, but it was like they were already trying to normalize horror.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say that too, man. It started getting more normalized. I mean, more people started seeing it as an everyday thing. Oh yeah, it's just a monster, like no biggie.
Right. They were turning it from like satanic panic parents are afraid their kids are going to be like worshiping Satan to just goth kids.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. Give me the smoky eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not the button eyes, right?
Absolutely. Hey,
smoky button eyes.
Smoky button eyes. I mean, let's not. Oh, Tater, Little Monsters. That should have actually been on the list.
Oh man, that would have been a good one.
Little Monsters probably would have.
That was creepy as hell, dude. I mean, watching it, yeah.
Just one of my favorite scenes is when he pisses in the kid's apple juice.
Bro.
Yeah. Well, Tater, if you want Under Wraps and Little Monsters to be on there, make sure to buy us a taco so we can afford the not free bracket maker.
Oh God, that's good. That's good.
Do we want to do the final one?
Let's do the final one, man. We're here. We might as well just knock this last one out.
All right. Return to Oz versus Poltergeist.
Wow. So what surprises me on this is that Nightmare Before Christmas didn't end up in that last part of the bracket. But also, I called from the very beginning that Return to Oz was going to make it all the way to the end. Because it is that movie that was just so high level creepy. And just you don't expect these creatures. And it's a Henson creature thing. So like it's like there's something about Henson creatures that are like 1,000 times scarier because of the practical effects.
Yeah. And who'd they go to for Freddy Fazbear? Henson's company.
That's right. It's funny that they did, I mean,
yes, Five Nights at Freddy's is a kid's horror movie too. So
yeah, it's funny. I didn't, so I haven't seen that movie, and then we talked about this, right? Just because I have no interest in watching it. I didn't care about the games. Don't really have any interest in the movies. Did they use practical effects for Freddy Fazbear?
Yeah, they were animatronics made by the Henson company.
I didn't know that. Okay, that makes me actually want to watch it.
Yeah. And if you watch carefully, you can see a whole pint of blood spilled the entire movie. A whole pint.
But still, that makes me want to watch it just to see the practical effects. That just seems cool. Like I thought they went CG on that.
What was the other one that they made before
Willy's Wonderland?
Okay, on that one, because the actor from Killer Clowns from Outer Space I think he was a director on that one. He was here, and I had asked him about that, and I said, "Man, how did you guys do the animatronics on it?" And he's like, "We didn't use animatronics; those were all people in costumes."
Oh wow!
So I was because of that, I was like, "Dude, I love that movie now," because I was like, "Damn!" Like the whole time I thought it was animatronics, but it was people in costumes.
Oh yeah, Willy's Wonderland, also the Banana Splits movie.
Yeah.
That's another movie that wasn't meant to be scary, but was.
It was meant to be scary.
Was Banana Splits meant to be scary?
The movie that came out a couple years ago? Absolutely.
Oh, there was a movie that came out a couple years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about like the actual show.
No,
From,
1966? No.
yeah.
All right. So are you all gentlemen saying Poltergeist?
I'm going Oz, but I mean, like,
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Oz only because I didn't expect it to be as creepy as it was. I mean, Poltergeist was supposed to be a horror movie, and we got that, but I'm gonna go with Oz on this one.
so that makes you the tiebreaker, man.
All right,
Me?
Yeah.
let's go.
Because I will say Return to Oz, quite honestly. I don't like being a tiebreaker.
It's only because we said ours first.
I know. Listen, I obviously added Return to Oz because of what I thought of it. You know, if I didn't think it was meant to be on this list, or the wife did, we wouldn't have added it. You know what I
Right.
mean? So,
No.
all right. That means the scariest kid movie, according to Distance Nerding and Fam, Return to Oz.
No, I'm gonna
That's
go with it.
There's nothing wrong with that. That is actually a solid answer.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that. I mean, somebody was like, "Man, it creeped me out." I'd be like, "Yeah, me too."
That also makes me want to go watch the movie right now.
I was gonna say I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. I'm definitely gonna watch it over the weekend.
Yeah, because like it's just again, I'm just thinking of it's one of those movies that I remember watching as a kid, and then I was like, "What Wizard of Oz movie was the one that had like the flying monkeys that had like like they were just like the scariest fucking fat flying monkeys, right? And then like the Wheelers and on all that stuff, and then
Hell, it starts off with electric shock therapy being done to Dorothy.
yeah, Tin Man's weird uncle, like all that shit.
TikTok. Come on.
Yeah, the Clock Man. It's just, yeah, man. It deserves to be at the top of the list.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
It's funny it went up against Poltergeist, but
You see, and I think the rating thing was what did it for me, because if it would have been on a different rating, I think I would have picked differently. I mean, with Poltergeist and another film, but on this one, because it was kids and it was as far as kids, like a scary movie, just makes sense.
yeah. Now I had us finish this specifically because Grave, what is the next bracket?
I haven't determined that one yet. It's going to be horror themed,
Right.
for sure. Let me think about that. I know we want to do. I know say one wants horror video games. We determined we have to do like pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah, we that's back from like almost like 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me think about that. I will get back to you. I'll let you know in chat. We could post ahead of time. I had a couple ideas. My brain's been fried today, so I have to rethink what I thought about earlier today for the next bracket.
No worries, dude. Give me in the chat. We don't have to talk about it right now on the show, but give me the categories you're thinking of doing, and I'll put out a poll, and that way everybody can ask or everybody can vote, and we can find out who the or what people want to see on the next bracket.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't done. I don't think we did horror TV shows yet.
I don't think we have. Now, also speaking of polls, so we just did a poll earlier this week on what everybody thought Tyler's costume was at LA Comic-Con. Wow, this actually got pretty high. So, if you were to guess who this man is, who would you say that is?
He looks like a centipede, but I'm not sure what that's supposed to be.
It went away.
Yeah, so the options are Frog Boy, Kite Man, Hydra Bob, or the Pickler.
The Pickler, just because it looks like a pickle.
He said the Pickler.
Am I supposed to? I know it, don't I?
You probably know who that is. What
Is that
would
not
you?
Hydra Bob?
It is Hydra Bob. But again, we were asking the audience who they thought it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and give you. I'm gonna say it live on the show right now. in a poll that got to do some math here. That 20 people voted on. 10% with 2 votes said it was Frog Boy. 15% with 3 votes said it was the Pickler. 35% with 7 votes said it was Kite Man, who is very relevant right now, hence the reason we said Kite Man. And with the winner with 8 votes, 40% of the vote was Hydra Bob. So I'm happy that it got to, in the end, it got to, people voted on who he actually was. But I thought it was funny that so many people, like, it was almost Kite Man. People really thought he was Kite Man.
You should have put Nemotoad.
A nematode.
That's a good one.
That's pretty good. Well, guys, that is it from us this week. Before we let everybody go, one more time, Mario, go ahead and give everybody your pluggables, man. Let everybody know where they can find you, where they can listen to you, all the stuff.
Yes, of course. Everything goes back to my YouTube channel. Look up Coming Soon Podcast. Like I said earlier, when it comes to the plugs, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, X, everything's under Coming Soon Podcast. www.comingsoonpodcast.com. All my tabs are on there. Follow up.
All right. Of course, the spookiest time of the beard.
Yes.
Let everybody know where they can
I
follow
am
more Graveyard.
Graveyard, co-host of the Mostly Pod Out at Night Mostly podcast. Pod.
At night, mostly.
This month for October, we're doing 2 special episodes a week. One was supposed to be posted, but at this point in time, that's not happening. So it'll be posted tomorrow. And we'll be posting the finish up to the House franchise, and we will be following up after that Terrifier series. We're finally doing it with Terrifier 3 coming out.
I can't wait to hear your guys' take on the Terrifier series.
We are going to have a special guest for the Terrifier series.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to have a legit movie critic coming on and talking it. So I'm excited for it.
He is going to rip it apart.
Oh yeah, it's going to happen.
Series is like, in your top 10 favorites just because it is a shitty series. At least the first movie, the plot was terrible, but I mean,
they all are terrible.
Yeah.
So follow us on social media, Pilot Night. Check out Conversations Void. Saturday we're having a special episode with somehow we have an indie comic book creator coming on our show. And is doing horror stuff as well. So he's coming on the show Saturday. Sunday, we have a special episode with the recurring guest of John D. Hancock, the writer of Let's Scare Jessica to Death and Wolfen. And during the 35th anniversary of Prancer, the Kisses movie as well.
Wow.
Yeah. And then remember, go to Found TV app and look at our newest movie from Horror Dad's production called Untitled Footage that was deemed too scary for Amazon Prime.
God, that says a lot about what it is. And I know what the scene was. You told me what it was, but I mean, like, there's more reason to go watch it.
I play 3 different parts in the same movie. So. Gotta love indie horror.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am. I'm your boy, Young Phil. Connect with us on all the social media places. If it exists, we are there. Ladies and gentlemen, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's not X. It's still Twitter. Twitch, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Discord, MySpace, Vine, GeoCities, Friendster, Second Life, AIM, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, OnlyFans. It's only pictures of Aaron Watson's feet and mandals, the beard, and James's glasses just staring at you on the table, judging you for not subscribing to our OnlyFans.
And watching Bluey.
And telling the world that Terrifier is a good movie. Ladies and gentlemen, all at distance nerding. And of course, if you would like to shoot us an email and have us read it live on the show, you can email us at that spot right there on the screen. You can, if you want us to break up with your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other's pet, schoolyard bully, annoying neighbor, or just tell us how much you enjoy us, hate us, or wish the internet would consume us completely and spit us out in a gory mess in front of Art the Clown. Send us an email at dist That was a good show. We had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good there.
Yes.
Kite Man.
Kite Man is definitely what his James in the chat at the last second. Kite Man. Oh God. And snerding at AOL.com, and we will read it live on the air. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow. So we just opened up Fridays. We're going to be doing more interviews on Fridays. I do not believe that Graveyard is going to be with me tomorrow, just because he's got like 5 other shows that he's doing. So we will see if I have a guest host tomorrow. But on tomorrow's episode of The Build, which I will be starting The Nightmare Before Christmas, we are only doing the first hour. So we're not going to be doing brackets and everything in the second hour. It's just going to be the interview. And we'll be ending there. So tomorrow's guest is a doctor, an actual doctor. But his name is Andre Lorenzo Molinari, and he is also a comic book writer and has written I believe it's a horror book. So we will be talking with him tomorrow, talking about their Kickstarter and everything like that. So guys, tune in tomorrow for another interview here. But outside of that, of course, ladies. Oh God, Tater, towel flapping in the wind. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. It is now time for the dance party. I know, Mario, you don't know what the dance party is. You're going to find out right now. When the music starts, all you're going to do is grab something and make it dance on screen. Simple enough. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. We will see you all tomorrow for another riveting episode of The Build. See y'all later. And remember, keep nerding together. Here they come. There once was a man from Macass who had balls made of fine brass. In stormy weather, his balls clanked together and sparks flew out of his ass.
Here you go, guys. Here you go.
Distance nerding.
The horror is his face. We'll see everybody tomorrow.